team even made the playoffs the year before. Game 1 for the Lakers and Heat tonight in the Orlando bubble. Coverage starts at 8 Eastern on other ESPN radio outlets. The game is also on ABC. It's a playoff first in Major League Baseball. 8 games on the same day. Every wild card series is on the field today. Right now on ESPN, the Reds and Braves are scoreless in the 12th. On ESPN2, the Astros lead the Twins 2-1 in the 8th. The Cubs lead the Marlins 1-0 in the 6th on ABC. The A's lead the White Sox 4-0 in the 2nd. Coverage of the Blue Jays and Rays Game 2 is now underway on other ESPN radio outlets. The other 3 series play later. Sunday's Steelers-Titans game in Nashville has been postponed. The league wants more time for COVID-19 testing. The game may be played Monday or Tuesday. The Titans have now had 4 players and 5 staffers test positive.
Hey, it's Greeny, and Thursday we look back on the busiest day in baseball history and Game 1 of the NBA Finals. It's Greeny, starting noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
The Brain. And Mr. Toby Tom Play. We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Yeah. Gotta go big today, Brain.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Gotta hump loudly today, Brain.
It's hump day.
You know why, Brain?
Why, Matt?
Because we got Chris Brooks in the building.
Hump day.
If I'm not mistaken, new guy, Chris Brooks.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
First Wednesday working here.
It's hump day.
When he's on the 3rd floor.
Hump day.
While we do hump day.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Say, Chris.
It's hump day.
Don't expect to get much done at 3:03 on Wednesday.
Hump day.
Ed Orgeron on the teleconference.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Robert Munson in about 12 minutes.
It's hump day.
Malik Antoine next hour.
Hump day.
Russ Mitchell in hour 3.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We got the NBA Finals.
It's hump day.
We got MLB playoffs.
Hump day.
We got 2 geriatric men yelling at each other all night, and Twitter went nuts.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
One of them made a sex joke.
It's hump day.
The thing is, you'd have to guess which one, because they're both capable.
That's the stupidest thing I ever saw in my life. Woo. All right. It's after further review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers. Obviously, a whole lot going on. We'll get to all of it here over the next 3 hours. Glad you're hanging out. Ed Orgeron was on the SEC Coaches Teleconference Wednesday, as he is each Wednesday, as is every coach in the SEC. And Coach O talked about handling this week mentally, coming off an embarrassing loss this past Saturday.
Yeah, I think he's motivated to do better, like all of us are. We have a 24-hour rule on Monday. We let it go, but obviously, it's going to linger with you until you win again. So, everybody's feeling the same way. We haven't lost there in a long time. But we want to get this taste out of them out and do better. So everybody took it upon themselves to do better.
It's going to help heading to Nashville this weekend if, in fact, LSU does have Derek Stingley Jr. with them in tow, because, of course, it helps when you have the best defensive player in college football playing for you and with your team, which they did not have this past weekend, which they should have this week in Nashville.
Yeah. They never came out with definitive result of the test. I haven't talked to Jack, and if it is, we're not going to announce it anyway. But anyway, he practiced yesterday. He was in a gold shirt. I do believe that he should play. It's not conclusive yet that he's going to play, but I do believe he's going to play.
So Ed Orgeron there refusing to clarify or declining to clarify again what it was that ailed Derek Stingley that sent him to the hospital. His dad wouldn't elaborate on off the bench. Ed wouldn't elaborate today or on Monday. So that's something that, look, at the discretion of the family, if and when they want to release that information, that's up to them. But the good news is that it seems like whatever it was that caused Derek Stingley to have to go to the hospital, first-time event in his life and something that he appears to be over. Jacoby Stevens, when he met with the media yesterday, kind of spilled the beans that Derek was actually out of practice on Monday. So Ed initially thought that Stingley would be practicing Tuesday, but Derek did run around a bit with individual periods on Monday and then did participate yesterday, and we'd expect he'd be out there again today. So listen, Vanderbilt is playing a freshman quarterback who threw for 150 yards, a score, and 2 interceptions last weekend against Texas A&M. This is a huge, huge lean to LSU, especially if you have Derek Stingley out on the field. Ken Seals is the freshman quarterback from Vanderbilt who is going to see his biggest test. Like, he went on the road in week 1, and obviously that's significant. But A&M has had 3 defensive backs already opt out of this season. You put Derek Stingley Jr. on the field, and that's going to tilt the field a little bit. The other guy who Ed Orgeron updated is left tackle Dare Rosenthal. And Dare is a guy who we've talked a lot about this offseason. He didn't play a ton a year ago. He started a couple of games against the non-conference teams while Sadiq Charles was serving his 6-game suspension when they cherry-picked those games. And Dare started against Northwestern State and Utah State and had some good moments and some not great moments. Athletically, he's a very gifted guy, but really needs to come into his own at that position at left tackle. Well, late in the Mississippi State game, Dare Rosenthal looked like he hurt his shoulder while diving to make a block. I mean, that's sort of the speculation. They landed funny. And Ed Orgeron gave an update on Dare Rosenthal, and his status is still very much up in the air for this weekend.
Yeah, he did not practice yesterday. I don't know if he's going to practice today. We're going to have to see towards the end of the week, see if he's available. Right now, I list him as questionable.
Okay. Is Cameron Wire kind of behind him? Could you talk about
Cam Wire's right behind him. He started left tackle yesterday. And if Derek can't go, Cam's going to start.
So, Dare Rosenthal, remember, this is an interesting. This is going to be an interesting test case for LSU if Rosenthal can't play. Remember, one of the things we talked about an awful lot over the offseason, and I said this a bunch, so my hand's in the air. I said that I felt like LSU's first 22 were as good as anybody in the country. Now, obviously, then you have Jamar Chase and Tyler Shelvin opt out, and then Derek Stingley gets hurt, and you see the trickle-down effect. And the point I made was, look, I think LSU's first 22 are really good. The big question is, how good is the depth? If you have to go to your bench beyond that first 22, that's the big question mark. Well, you got the answer in the secondary on Saturday, and it wasn't good. I think those guys will get better, especially now knowing that Jay Ward is playing with a torn meniscus. Darren Evans wasn't even really expected to play. They had to throw him out there because Stingley wasn't there. Flott was working at nickel and then had to play corner because Stingley was. But you understand the point. When you don't have great depth, any displaced starter, and you have that trickle-down effect, and look at what happened on Saturday in the defensive backfield. So now here comes my question on the offensive line. Look, I like LSU's first offensive line. I'm not going to tell you I think that that's going to be the best unit in the country. Last year, they were far from the most talented unit in the country, but they played very well together, and Joe Burrow compensated for a lot of their deficiencies, and all together, it worked very well. This unit, Liam Shanahan's played a ton. Ed Ingram's played a ton. Austin Deculus has started nearly 40 games in his career. You really like Chasen Hines at right guard, physically gifted enough to play at this level. And then we just talked about Dare Rosenthal. The problem is, after that, you've got nobody with experience. You've got a couple of freshmen in Xavier Hill and Marlon Martinez. You've got a couple of redshirt freshmen, and one of them being, Cam Wire, who's, I guess, actually listed as a sophomore because he played in 6 games a year ago in a backup role. But the point is, you're looking at a situation where your next two guys are Charles Turner, who didn't play a snap last year, and Cam Wire, who played in 6 games but's never started. So if Dare Rosenthal can't go, now all of a sudden, at left tackle, after a shaky performance a week ago against Mississippi State at home, now you have to go on the road and face Vanderbilt. And you may laugh at Vanderbilt, and I wouldn't blame you for doing that in most years, but Vanderbilt is, if you notice this past week, Pro Football Focus, their college ratings rated Vanderbilt's defensive line as the best defensive line in college football for week 4. I mean, don't laugh or chuckle. They held Isaiah Spiller, the running back from Texas A&M, to 5 yards rushing in the first half. Now, in the second half, he got off a little bit. The first play of the third quarter was like a 57-yard run that he ripped off. But the highest graded defensive lines from week 4 in the Power 5, Vanderbilt was number 1, Georgia, Oklahoma State, Iowa State. So clearly the strength of that Vanderbilt team is their defensive line. Your offensive line didn't have a great day this past week, and now you're potentially down your left tackle as well. So it's also worth noting that Vandy linebacker Dimitri Moore Dimitri Moore was their leading tackler a year ago at 99 tackles. He initially opted out because of COVID, opted back in, but had a minor injury, did not play against Texas A&M. They are expecting him to play against LSU. So that boosts the Vanderbilt defensive front 7 as well. I'm not trying to scare you about Vanderbilt, but I'm trying to tell you, as we learn more about this team with LSU and their depth, we got an answer about the depth and the rotation Saturday in the defensive backfield. We may start to see it on the offensive line Saturday if Dare Rosenthal can't go. All right, it's after further review. We did see LSU host its first sporting event amid COVID. How did it go? Robert Munson, LSU Senior Associate AD, has been really kind enough to join us throughout this whole process to keep us up to date and really give us a peek behind the curtain and the goings-on at the LSU Athletic Administration. So he's going to join us next to kind of run through what was good and what maybe wasn't so good on Saturday, aside from the game, with LSU and Mississippi State in the first game at Tiger Stadium, and what we might be able to expect to come. Stick around with us here. It is a Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Pluckers on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Baton Rouge General Hospital. They're online at brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org. That's where you can learn more about the Baton Rouge General Hospital and all the amazing programs that they have. As a matter of fact, I've told you about Mamho's and Mimosa. This is for the ladies, where they are encouraging every woman to get their annual mammogram. Well, they are full, but they're still extending the waiting list. So you can go to brgeneral.org. Men, tell your wife, your fiance, mom, sister, whoever about this to go to brgeneral.org. It's Saturday, October the 17th from 9 to noon at the Baton Rouge General in Bluebonnet. Again, they're full right now, but you can sign up and add your name to the waiting list for Mammos and Mimosas. Just another way that the Baton Rouge General Hospital continues expanding care in the greater Baton Rouge area. Of course, they've reopened the ER at Mid-City. They've got the neighborhood hospital coming in Ascension. Learn more about all of their programs at brgeneral.org. brgeneral.org, part of the Mayo Clinic Care Network.
$11,000 off MSRP on a new 2020 Ford F-150. Buy a new one for less than a used one. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as a bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Well, the game result wasn't great, but all in all, LSU did pull off its first on-campus sporting event in this COVID world. Robert Munson, LSU Senior Associate AD, is good enough to be with us each week for the past month or so, kind of getting ready for that event, letting everyone know the particulars that they need to know as we navigate these sort of uncertain and uncharted waters. And Robert's good enough to join us here on this Wednesday edition of AFR. Robert, thanks as always, man. How are you?
I'm doing great, Matt. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thanks. So what's the verdict on Saturday?
I'm proud. I mean, we're very, very proud of what occurred on Saturday with our fans. They heard the communications. They came prepared with their mobile tickets and the CDC screening and the parking permits. And I mean, Matt, I'm fully aware we asked a lot of our fans. You saw that initial press release with all of the new changes. It was a lot to consume, but our fans paid attention and they showed up ready to go. And by and large, we're really, really pleased with the way the entry points went, with the way exiting went, with parking and traffic and a number of other areas. Some room to improve, but we'll get there.
I think it would be naive to expect there to have gone completely flawlessly without any hiccups. What were some of the areas that you all assessed after Saturday? Say, okay, we could improve there.
Yeah, fully expected to have multiple areas that we could improve. That's just part of this process. You do something like this for the first time in the history of a program, you're going to have some opportunities that are going to come from some areas that need to be reworked. And there are a few things that we're looking at right now. One, we want to streamline that gate entry process. Having to get your parking permit, get your mobile ticket, and then also the CDC screening kind of on different screens caused some issues with some of our fans. So we're looking to streamline that a bit. We looked at our data from all of our fan surveys coming back, as well as our foot traffic on game day itself, and realized that a lot of the stands that we closed, we didn't need necessarily to close. The foot traffic didn't pan out in the way that we thought it was going to, mostly because we didn't have any lines into the restrooms. So we're going to be able to open a lot more concession stands, particularly on the south side of the stadium for our next home game. So things like that, not big groundbreaking changes, just little tweaks here and there around the stadium.
There's a lot of questions, by the way. If you're listening and you have a question, you can fire away on Twitter at Matt Moscona or jump in the Bayou Ford chat on our 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Laura asked a good question there. She said, Robert, if you are able to increase capacity, is there any way for season ticket holders to opt back in for tickets for a game later in the season?
I think if we were to be allowed to increase capacity at Tiger Stadium, we would have to look at the whole seating chart again. We'd have to look at, some of the ticket holders that may be opted out. I'm sure we would offer some opportunities there. We're not there yet, Matt. We don't expect any capacity changes for Missouri. So we have some time to contemplate that and plan it. But I do think it would take a reworking of the diagram in Tiger Stadium. And that could mean going back to some ticket holders. It also could mean, Matt, some single game sales in some open areas that we might have.
Did you all learn anything from watching other teams around the conference or around college football this past weekend and their procedures?
Yeah, we're reviewing a little bit of that this week. Obviously, on Saturday we had our hands full, so we weren't able to watch everything that was going on. But I think if you did watch a lot of college football, you saw some different approaches, particularly to physically distancing within the stadiums. I really like our approach. I think Brian Broussard and his team did a fantastic job in designing these pod groups, essentially families and traveling parties together. So you can enjoy being with your people, but still enjoy being at the game. So I think we did it right. I think we did it among the best in the country on Saturday. We're certainly looking at some lessons learned from other schools as well, but I promise you they're looking at what we did as well.
He's on Twitter at Robert J. Munson. If you want to give him a follow, LSU Senior Associate AD Robert Munson with us. I loved your tweet. My favorite comment so far from reviewing our game day fan survey results. Someone said, needed more cloud cover. The good news is the next home game, we won't have to worry about cloud cover because it's going to be an 8 o'clock kickoff.
It is going to be an 8 o'clock kickoff. It's a late game. And, I actually totally agreed with the cloud cover comment. I needed it. A lot of people needed it. But we got, the data that we got back, it's funny, Matt, usually the biggest section of our data that we get on Mondays is parking and traffic. Well, we didn't have much of that because we had 25% capacity. So we got some insight. Certainly it was hot was one of the top comments we got back. Unfortunately, not a whole lot we can do about that, though an 8 o'clock game is going to help.
What was so every fan that had a ticket scanned at the gate got the survey. What was some of the other feedback you got from the fans who attended?
Yeah, it's actually every ticket holder whose ticket was scanned, and we had that associated email. So if someone gave you, Matt, a ticket, but we don't have your email associated with the ticket, you would not have gotten a survey. But, some of the big ones were people want more capacity. I mean, 25% is very, very apparent when you're in that stadium. It's supposed to fit 102. So that was apparent to people. The energy wasn't quite there because of the number of people. Unfortunately, that's a little bit out of our hands. People want beer back. That was very clear from the data. Again, that's a little bit out of our hands right now. We're working on all of those things. But, I think one of the big issues not one of the big issues, I shouldn't say that, but one of the areas that we can improve on, and we got comments back from our fans about, was wearing masks actually in your seat, which is one of the policies at Tiger Stadium. We are asking our fans to wear masks in the seats. If you were there, it was hot. Mm-hmm. And not only was it hot, it was in the middle of the day, and it was very difficult to keep a mask on that entire time. But we're asking people to do the best they can. And so we're going to do a little bit better job of reminding people next week when we have our home game against Missouri to let's work on keeping our masks on as much as we can during the game.
It's funny you mentioned beer. I guess not funny, but appropriate, because someone else in the YouTube chat did also ask about beer. You said it's not your decision. Whose decision ultimately is that if you expand concessions to include alcohol?
Well, that's going to depend greatly on where we are with the virus and with state public health guidelines at the time. Anything can change between now and our next home game. So we're just in constant conversations with that. I don't know that it's any individual decision so much as it is a group of folks coming together and choosing the best possible scenario to keep fans safe. So what that will be for the Missouri game, I don't know yet, but these are ongoing conversations.
A couple more for you. One that I got a bunch over the weekend, Robert, was if someone bought a ticket on the secondary market, but had to have a parking pass, right? Because to park on campus, you have to have a pass. I think we established that.
That's correct.
So where do you get that parking pass?
Call the ticket office. The ticket office will arrange for you to get that parking permit. Presumably here we're talking about probably a free type permit, which we had plenty of free parking available. So if you just call the ticket office, if you don't get that permit with your StubHub ticket, and again, I would strongly encourage everybody, just go to StubHub on the secondary market. It's the only place where you will get a guaranteed ticket it's guaranteed not to be counterfeit. So please go to StubHub. But get your StubHub ticket. Call the ticket office if it doesn't come with a permit. We'll take care of it for you.
Is there anything else that fans need to know between now and the next home game?
No, same things as last time, Matt. Just keep listening to us. Follow us on Twitter. Visit our website. We do expect a few changes for the next game. Nothing huge, nothing big. We don't need to re-educate the entire fan base on coming to Tiger Stadium again. But we will have a few changes. So just stay in touch with us. Stay patient with us. Keep giving us feedback. I'm getting emails every day. I'm getting direct messages on Twitter every day. I encourage those. I like those. I like to hear them. Even when they're not very pleasant, it gives me some sense of how well we're doing and we're listening to it.
All right, so I did just get a few more questions from listeners. You mind if we run through these quickly? Okay. Let's see. Sorry, I need to find my spot here, of course. Did the Mississippi State fans purchase their tickets from LSU season ticket holders? How did the State fans who got tickets get tickets?
Yeah, it's just like we do any other season where there is a agreed upon distribution of tickets to the visiting team. This year, it's only 500 tickets. So we distributed 500 tickets to Mississippi State for them to handle as they saw fit.
Will you, so Matt, please ask about opening more concessions in the northeast end zone? I know you mentioned south, but what about in the northeast?
So the north side, we don't have the space for physical distancing to open any more concession stands. We are, however, looking at some areas in what we're calling the festival type areas, which are just outside the stadium but within the perimeter. The funny thing, Matt, is even during the game on Saturday, I was walking around and visiting some of the stands on the north side and the south side, and we'd have long lines because we would only have maybe one stand open in that area. And we would tell people, look, if you walk 35 feet west, in fact, I'll show you where to go. We have 2 or 3 of these portable stands in these festival areas wide open with literally no one in line. But we're all creatures of habit. So we go to the stand that we've always gone to. So I would encourage fans to again, check the mobile app where you can see where we have open stands. And there may be some just around the corner where no one is going to be there. So hopefully that'll be true for next Saturday. We'll get some stands out there on the north side.
Brenton Day asked about opening more gates for exiting. He said it's hard to social distance when everyone has to exit through the same small gate.
Yeah, that's right. We did have some issues with exiting because we did have a lot of people come out all at the same time at the end of the game. So we're going to do some PA reads encouraging people to go to different gates and hopefully have some more monitors out there that's basically pointing to different areas that people can go. It's the same old thing as concession stands. It's creatures of habit. We go in and out of the same gate, to and from the same concession stand. There are plenty of places to spread out on exit. You might just have to go to a slightly different gate.
I know you're going to get tons of questions about the masks, but Steven points out if we go indoors, it's okay to take the masks off while seated. Why not when you're outdoors seated at the stadium?
It's not. At Tiger Stadium, indoors or out, a mask is required, and that's true on campus and in Tiger Stadium.
I probably meaning like in a restaurant or something like that. If you're seated in a restaurant, you could, in a venue or something like that, you could take your mask off. So is there a difference between other public venues and Tiger Stadium? Is that a city policy or is that an LSU policy?
It is.
I'm sure this is the big one you're getting is wearing the mask when you're seated in your seats.
Yeah. Number one, it's a campus policy. So masks are required on LSU's campus at all times, inside and out. We do obviously provide exceptions if you're eating or drinking, as you would in a restaurant, to slip your mask down and eat or drink. But Monday through Sunday, all LSU's campus has the policy to wear a mask. I'm talking to you in my office with my door closed and no mask. As soon as we get off, I'm going to open that door and put a mask on, no matter where I am in this office or around campus.
He's on Twitter at Robert J. Munson. Been really good about interacting, engaging, getting your questions answered. We appreciate your time that you're giving our audience here over the last month or so, and we'll look forward to it as we can update further. So thank you as always.
Happy to do it, man. We'll talk next week.
Okay, that is Robert Munson, LSU Senior Associate AD. In all seriousness, you may not like everything that's being said or every policy put in place, but as straight as I could possibly shoot you, for them to put, meaning LSU's athletic departments, put their Senior Associate AD on radio every week to answer your questions and to not dodge anything at all. I mean, not, what do you dodge? But you know what I mean? Like, as a vehicle to disseminate information, that's really, really strong. to answer those questions and make sure that everyone has the information they need. So I'm very appreciative of it. Hopefully you are as well, even if you don't love every policy or anything. I get the frustration. Y'all know how I feel about masks. I mean, we've talked about it before here a bunch. Like, I'm not saying it has no purpose, but I think we've gone in excess with it. It's like, hey, you're swimming in your pool, it starts raining, and your mom says, hey, put on your raincoat. Oh, I'm soaking wet. What's the point? I mean, you get my point. But either way, I'm very glad that Robert's given us his time and that he's willing to answer those questions. So we appreciate it greatly. And thanks to everyone for getting your questions in. We're trying to do that on Wednesday to keep everybody up to date as long as we can or need to. So, all right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a break. We'll go around the SEC when we come back. Taylor Calandro with some Bourbon Dictionary in about 15 minutes. Malik Antoine, Baton Rouge native, senior defensive back at Stanford. Been looking forward to this, man. The Pac-12 is back playing. Last time we talked to Malik, it's when the Pac-12 pulled the plug on the season, and now they're back. So what's it been like with the Pac-12 coming back online and starting their season in November? So we'll talk about that with Malik Antoine here in about 30 minutes from right now, and then Russ Mitchell in hour 3. AFR is brought to you by Pluckers. Stick around.
AFR.
Love telling you about River City's 1 hour air where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime because they do two things primarily. One, they save you time, and two, they save you money. And in this life, don't we want people who aren't going to waste our time and who are going to save us money? Why should it be any different with your Home Central AC company? That's River City's 1 hour air. Remember, they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. They schedule a time to be at your house. If they're 1 minute late, you don't come out of pocket 1 cent. That's what they mean. We're always on time or you don't pay a dime. Also, you can mention the Moscona special, and they'll knock $25 off any system repair. So if you need repair work done on your system, just mention you heard it on the show, and they'll save you money. River City's 1 hour air, 752-0001, 752-0001. And maybe the thing that I respect most about River City's 1 hour air is if they ever, they're not perfect, but if they ever have a dissatisfied customer, their commitment is that that issue will be resolved within 24 hours. River City's 1 hour air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
This isn't just another day, it's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
When you want the best of Louisiana, you don't go to a superstore. We know what we like, and we like it local. Same goes for banking. As one of Louisiana's largest local banks, we offer homegrown services crafted around you. Gulf Coast Bank, the bank that cares about you.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, glad you're rolling along with us here. Today is the last day. All right, we're going to do this all day today. Fair warning. We're going to do this I'm going to tell you all day. So if you're listening all 3 hours, you're going to hear this a bajillion times today. Today is the last day to enter for the Sazerac Tailgate at Home Sweepstakes. Again, October the 12th, the professional football game at the Superdome between New Orleans and Los Angeles. We will be doing AFR from the Sazerac House on the corner of Magazine and Canal that day. If you win this prize, you, 12 buddies, or lady friends, or whatever, I guess ladies could be your buddies, you and 12 guests can join me, Jay Ducote, the Sazerac staff, all at the Sazerac House to watch the game. They got a giant 24-foot screen that comes out of the ceiling in their ballroom. We'll be on the 4th floor, catered food, open bar, couches, furniture, really comfortable. It'll be an awesome place to watch the game. We'll hang out. It's going to be so, so fun. October the 12th. New Orleans against Los Angeles. Football on Monday night at the Dome. You can hang out with us. It's free to enter. To win, all you have to do, text Sazerac Tailgate to 888-111. All of this is tagged. It's pinned on my Twitter account and my Facebook page. So if you're listening or what was that again? Go to my Facebook page or my Twitter. It's pinned to the top so you can see the flyer, how to enter. Again, text Sazerac Tailgate, one word, no space, Sazerac Tailgate to 888-111. Again, Sazerac Tailgate, one word, no space, to 888-111 for your chance to enter. Today is the last day to enter, so get your entries in. It's free, but today's the last day. All you got to do is text. You got your phone right now. Do it right now. In the body of the text, put Sazerac Tailgate, one word, no space, and in the number, the 2, put 888-111. All right, it's after further review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Speaking of whiskey, it is a Whiskey Wednesday. Taylor Calandro will join us here in about 10 minutes from right now to get your questions in. You can tweet me, email me, Facebook me, or jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Glad to have you hanging out with us here on a Hump Day edition of AFR. Do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Auburn Tigers.
Senior defensive end and team captain Big Cat Bryant. He was limited in the season opener against Kentucky. As a matter of fact, didn't play in the first half because of his ankle injury, but gave it a little bit of a go in the second half. Said he's feeling great. He is going to play Saturday when Auburn takes on Georgia. That game in Athens, 6:30 p.m. Central on ESPN. First top 10 matchup of the college football season. Number 7 Auburn at number 4 Georgia. Big Cat Bryant will be good to go.
The Florida Gators.
No more injury reports or updates from Dan Mullen for the rest of the year. That's the edict he has thrown out today on the SEC Coaches Teleconference. Mullen was asked about number 2 quarterback Emory Jones, who apparently was spotted on campus earlier this week with a brace or a cast on his hand. He was asked if he would be available for the game, and Mullen said everyone should be available Saturday, then clarified who knows because of COVID, and said he's done answering questions about injuries for the rest of the year. But it looks like, for now anyway, Emory Jones will be available for the Gators on Saturday.
The Missouri Tigers.
Eli Drinkwitz said that he continues to follow the plan at quarterback that he used Saturday against Alabama. They started Sean Robinson and then played Connor Bazelak as well. First series of the second quarter, and then again later on the Tigers' final possession. Said that was by design, and that Mizzou fans can expect more of the same when the Tigers take on Tennessee on Saturday in Knoxville and for the rest of the year.
The Texas A&M Aggies.
A&M senior defensive back Clifford Chapman has entered the transfer portal. So yesterday we told you that Chapman opted out of the 2020 season. Today now we have the news that he is actually entering the transfer portal, will leave Texas A&M. He is the 6th Aggie to opt out of the season. But again, it is a reminder that these aren't just opt-outs. These are guys transferring, so it's not all COVID-related.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
And Pierce Spurlin III Somebody get Sharif Ishaq on the line. Pierce Sperlin III is now the second commitment for the 2023 class at Georgia. 6'6", 220-pound sophomore tight end. I'll say that again. 6'6", 220-pound sophomore tight end. 6'6", 220-pound sophomore tight end. Georgia native, now plays high school ball in Florida. He's committed to the Bulldogs, the nation's number 2 tight end, number 64 overall prospect for the 2023 cycle. His dad is also a Georgia alum. There you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Veal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products, online at gcopnet.com. gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. If you need to keep your business running efficiently, Gulf Coast Office Products, our friend Trey Beals, they can do it. They've got warehouses in Baton Rouge, New Orleans, North Shore, Lafayette. So what that means is they're closer to your business. So if you need a part, if you need a piece of equipment, if you need someone to repair your equipment, if it goes offline, they're nearby. And they can get to you same day, worst case scenario, by 10 a.m. the next day. It's Gulf Coast Office Products. GCOPnet.com. GCOPnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. If you hang out with us here on the show, every day we wrap up the show with Otterlocks. Our friend Jimmy Ott joins us as his show follows ours. So it's sort of a pass the baton. And Jimmy's show is on Game Time. It's a betting angle show, and Jimmy gives us a pick, a betting angle every day. And needless to say, the Otter has really hit a cold streak. I mean, is that fair, Brain, to say the Otter's hit a cold streak of late?
It's kind of brutal.
It's been rough. I mean, has he got maybe like one in the last 2 weeks? Maybe. I mean, I think there was a basketball under he played. No, it was, I think it was maybe Boston. I don't know. It was something. He got like one basketball games at some point last week in the Boston-Miami series. Anyway, yesterday, first of all, on Monday Night Football, he said his lock of the NFL regular season, best play of the NFL regular season so far, he liked Baltimore -3. Of course, they lost outright by double digits. And so that was rough. Well, he came back yesterday, and he loved the under in the Yankees-Indians game. Second batter of the game, Aaron Judge hits a two-run yak. The game hit the over by the 5th inning. I think the final was 12-3. They like tripled the total. Jeremy Rayburn tweeted me, Matt, literally every MLB playoff game has hit the under so far, except the one under pick given by Jimmy Ott. So I will remind you that I Costanza'd him yesterday. That I decided whatever Jimmy gives me, I'm just going to do the opposite. So I actually played the over and won. So I'm actually feeling pretty good today. I don't know what the Otter's going to give me, but I'm going to take the opposite of it, and we'll see if we win. It's not a bad play. Do you think that eventually the odds, it'll come back to the middle?
Of course it will. He's going to get hot again.
I know, but at what point do I jump off of the Costanza train?
Oh, no. You ride the streak. You let Jimmy prove you wrong first.
Okay.
By proving himself right first.
Okay. All right, let's talk some whiskey. Bourbon Dictionary with Taylor Calandro next.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Premier South Roofing and PremierSouthLA.com. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, North Shore, and online at PremierSouthLA.com. Get to the website, PremierSouthLA.com. If you need a roof repair, a roof replacement, remember they do soft washing as well to beautify your roof. You know all those brown streaks on your roof? That's algae. And that actually eats away at your roof. So if you want to keep your roof healthy and extend the life of your roof and beautify it, a soft wash is a great option. But remember, you can go to the website at PremierSouthRoofing.com or PremierSouthLA.com, PremierSouthLA.com. You can hit the gallery tab. You can hit the roof visualizer. You could learn more about all of the things they offer. If it's shingle roofs, if it's slate, tile, metal, they do gutters and awnings. They do it all at Premier South Roofing. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, North Shore, and Lake Charles, it's Premier South Roofing and PremierSouthLA.com.
When it's clearance time, smart customers rush to Richard's Honda because all your favorite Honda models are at fantastic prices. And with our fanatical customer care, it's no wonder people call Richard's Honda the smart choice.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but two NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Your Honda needs some TLC, and Richard's Honda is the smart place to get it. With oil changes at just $39. And with so many service bays, you'll be in and out super fast.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
They're the gang with the slang. This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
Oh, you darn right. Low of 56 degrees tonight, you better believe. That's bourbon weather, brother. Taylor Calandro, Wine and Spirits Director over at Calandro's in Baton Rouge, joins us. Answer your booze questions. What's up, man?
Not much. It is definitely creeping into bourbon season for sure.
It feels like it. Feels awesome outside. Pour a little and have a good night, especially on a Whiskey Wednesday. If you got questions for Taylor, tweet me at Matt Moscona. Email me, matt@1045ESPN.com. You can ask your questions in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat on the 1045 ESPN YouTube channel, or you can get them in on Facebook. All right, let's get to this here and get to the questions people have for you. Justin Dupuy said, Taylor, how do you avoid warehoused bourbon from the latest names? Their company's 6 minutes old. The liquid's supposed to be small batch. I think not. Also, why aren't there more weeded bourbons? I love them.
Well, the warehouse bourbon, I'm assuming they're just talking about like source bourbon.
Yeah, just call it source. So explain source juice, basically.
So source juice can come from a multitude of places like MGP in Indiana or even like Heaven Hill. Heaven Hill makes a lot of juice for other people. It's just juice that's made to what the distillery specifications, and then aged, or they can just pick aged whiskey that they already have at these places and put their label on it and call it theirs, basically.
So let me throw out an example. When like Conor McGregor's Proper 12, like that's not he didn't start a whiskey company, start aging whiskey 12 years ago. They bought barrels, labeled it as Proper 12, and they're selling it, right?
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, and that's Irish whiskey, and I don't know. They could have gotten that juice from here. I don't know. But yeah. I mean, that's like any distillery that's brand new, and they have a 6, 7, 8 year old whiskey. You're like, well, how's that possible?
Right.
Well, it's possible because they bought the whiskey aged already. And actually, I don't hate distilleries for doing that. I'd rather them do that than rush something into the bottle.
Well said. What about weeded bourbons? Why aren't there more?
I don't know. That's a good question. It could be the price of grain or something. I really don't know.
Nathan Taylor, what is bottled and bond? How is it different from, he puts, regular bourbon?
So bottled and bond is just a few extra stipulations on top of the bourbon regulations. Distilled a certain time of year, distilled at a single distillery, or I think it's a 4-year minimum age, 100 proof. And the label has to identify where it came from. And it used to be aged. It used to have to be aged in a government regulated warehouse. I think they still do it like that. I'm not sure. It was created by distillers, basically. This rule, they wanted rules for themselves on top of regular rules. So.
Craig Dugas says, hey, Taylor, Michter's toasted against Elijah Craig toasted, and why am I struggling to find either?
Oh, that is...
Explain toasted, what that means.
So it's just they do a little extra aging in a different charred barrel, basically a toasted barrel. Like their regular, for Elijah Craig, their regular Elijah Craig, I think, and put into a different toasted barrel for a certain amount of time. It's not very long. If I had to choose between the two, and it wouldn't even be close, it would be Michter's.
The Michter's toasted is quite tasty.
And they do a rye and the bourbon too, and they are exceptional.
Brandon English says, hey, it might have been answered already, but Taylor, how are you going to do the raffle this year? Said I'm sure you won't have an in-person one like normal. What is the protocol this year?
So we talked about it last week, but we're going to make that decision by the end of October. It's either going to be virtual or in person. It just depends on where we are with this virus.
Okay. Taylor Calandro's with us. Bourbon Dictionary answers your booze questions. Great time of year, especially on a Whiskey Wednesday when the weather's getting really nice and it's football season. Greg Daigle said it's Jack Daniel's bourbon. What's the difference between Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey and Kentucky bourbon?
Jack Daniel's is technically bourbon. It is. Okay. You might think that's a stupid question, and it's kind of a weird. It's a big talking point, I guess. Jack Daniel's doesn't want to be called bourbon, but it is bourbon because they don't want to be called
because of the mash bill.
Yes, okay. and the way they do everything, it is bourbon, but they themselves don't want it to be called bourbon. They want a whole classification for Tennessee whiskey, and I don't think they push anything through for that. But yeah, but it technically, yes, it is bourbon.
A couple of more. Sam Nacella, you got any Weller 12?
You got any Joe Burrows?
Hey, if you got Weller 12, I'll be over there actually in the break. Stacey Abear, I've never tasted bourbon. So what's the first one I should taste?
I would go for a lighter one. I'd like Basil Hayden. I always suggest Basil Hayden for new drinkers of bourbon.
What's another one that you might try? I mean, Basil Hayden's $30 price point, so it's really affordable. It's light and really, really tasty as well. What's another one that's in that same category that you recommend?
An Elijah Craig. It's a lower price point. I think it's fairly easy drinking. Or just start with basics like Woodford or a Makers or something like that. I mean, that's about as bourbony as they get.
All right, last one. We're under a minute. Bo Roberts said, hey, I just got back from Buffalo Trace. I did a Blanton's barrel pick. Any chance of finding any 2020 B-Tax in Louisiana?
Yeah, if any chance. No, that's such a hard question. I mean, I guess there's a chance. I don't know. There's not a chance at Calandra Supermarket unless you're at the raffle.
You got to get it at the raffle at Calandro's. If you find it at other places, it's probably going to be extremely marked up at retail.
Or just super lucky.
Yeah.
Just super lucky. I mean, that's. I can't give an answer for that. I don't know.
Taylor, we appreciate it as always, man. Enjoy your Whiskey Wednesday.
All right, Matt. Thanks.
Right, we'll see you. This is After Further Review. Malik Antoine, Stanford defensive back. The Pac-12's playing. He joins us next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, WilliamsonEye.com, WilliamsonEye.com. I told you, it doesn't matter what your refractive issue is. It doesn't matter what your age is or what you have going on. If your goal is to be able to see without contacts or glasses, the Williamson Eye Center has an option for you. For me, it was LASIK. And for so many people, it's LASIK. And that's phenomenal. And I'm 2 years removed. I'm still seeing 2015 better than 2020. For Jimmy Ott, guy 60 years old, he had a lens replacement. For Ben Mintz, he had surgery done at Williamson last Friday. He had another refractive issue. He didn't qualify for LASIK, but there was another procedure that they did on him last Friday. The Williamson Eye Center. He actually had PRK vision correction. That's what Ben Mintz had last week. My point is, if you want to live your life without contacts or glasses, you can. Williamson Eye Center can make it happen. WilliamsonEye.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
When morning came to Louisiana, we were hopeful, not hibernating. We were mending fences, feeding neighbors, and holding our kids. When morning came to Louisiana, we were wide awake, planting seeds for next year's crops. We were stronger, ready for what's next. And together, as we build anew, Blue Cross stands ready to support you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Hand Injury Lawyers.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. The Heat are the surprise team in the NBA Finals, the lowest seed to get there since the Knicks in 1999. Those Knicks were coached by ESPN's Jeff Van Gundy, who says the Heat may struggle defending Anthony Davis.
LA is so big, so powerful, all over the court, whereas, Miami, they start basically four smalls and an undersized center.
Jeff Van Gundy on Greeny. Game 1 of the Finals tonight at 8:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ABC. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports the 76ers will meet with Doc Rivers tonight about the team's head coaching job. The other two candidates are Mike D'Antoni and Ty Lue. A decision is expected sometime this week. The first two finals on the baseball scoreboard today. The Braves take 13 innings to beat the Reds 1-0 on a Freddie Freeman game-winning RBI. The Astros beat the Twins and win that series 2-0. 3-1 the final today. The Twins have now lost 18 postseason games in a row.
Hey, it's Greeny, and Thursday we look back on the busiest day in baseball history and Game 1 of the NBA Finals. It's Greeny, starting noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
I appreciate it, bud. Have a good one.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
The Brain.
Hey, the Brain got a poop.
And Mr. Toby Top Play. We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Russ Mitchell next hour. We will recap the first week of SEC play and preview the weekend ahead. And that's about a month in advance of when we're going to see the Pac-12. But we know now the Pac-12 is going to return after previously announced they had canceled their season. I'm pumped for the players, as we've talked about, their fans. Among them is Malik Antoine, a Baton Rouge native who is a graduate, a senior at Stanford, who's going to get to play his senior year this year out in Palo Alto, unconventional as it may be. And Malik's good enough to join us here again on AFR. Malik, thanks for the time as always, man. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Just back here at Stanford, excited for the season to happen, and just trying to get the guys focused to make what we can out of the season.
Hey, so what did you all do? Like, fill in the gap, right? The last time you and I spoke was right around the time that Stanford and the Pac-12 had pulled the plug on the season in would have been early August. So what have you been doing for the 6 weeks or so since?
Well, man, it's been a roller coaster on this side. Around the first couple of weeks, guys stayed around to train, to continue being in the team, and just kind of working out in preparation for sort of a winter season. So we kind of toned down our workouts and our preparation to kind of like give our bodies a rest for the first couple of weeks. And then we kind of got word that the season probably was going to happen in January. So some guys kind of left and took off for a while. But now guys are in the midst of coming back and starting the quarantine process again and trying to ramp back up to start this season in November.
Have you all – all right, so you all are on campus for class, right? You're in semester?
The football team's on campus, but Stanford's not allowing students to be on campus for a school.
Okay, so you all are able to effectively have the same circumstance that SEC schools had in May and June when they got back on campus, but the rest of the student population wasn't there. So you all kind of have your own little bubble. Is that fair?
Yes. So some of us will be staying on campus, some of us staying off campus, but essentially our own bubble and where we won't really see anybody but the football team.
So what's the process like as best you all have been told to get you from now until November when you all kick off?
So So right now, guys that left campus are going through around a 5 to 14-day quarantine. And then right now, we kind of have a 2-week ramp-up period until we're potentially starting our training camp. Because the bad part about our situation right now is the Santa Clara County, which Stafford's in, hasn't approved us yet for contact practice. So right now, we're kind of in a slow ramp-up, hoping that the county will approve us to practice as a team in the next couple of weeks, so we can begin camp starting like around mid-October, October 10th-ish, so we can start camp and go from there to start November 7th.
He is Malik Antoine, Stanford senior defensive back, a Baton Rouge native who now is going to get to play his senior season out there on the farm. Let's go back to you all finding out that you were going to have a season. So last time we spoke, obviously the season had been canceled. You mentioned that you'd kind of started to hear that it was going to happen. What was the moment that you all, either individually or collectively as a team, learned that you were going to have a season?
So individually, my head coach called me and told me that things had drastically changed and that things were going to be probably pushed up to November, around mid-November. Then we held a team meeting, and our coach kind of gave us the full breakdown that we need to switch our mindset to now we're back in season mode to get guys back here and begin training again so we can have the best season possible with the circumstances that allowed it to us. So that probably happened around a week and a half ago when our coach finally gave us the go-ahead and said, hey, this thing is about to happen, so get your minds right, get your minds together to play November 7th.
What was were you all, so you found out individually, did David Shaw call every single player individually?
No. So I'm a captain and leader of the team. He just wants to prepare me to relay a message to the team. So he called me individually, and then he went on to tell the rest of the players that we're about to make this thing happen.
So what was it like? I mean, were you all together? Like, was there a team meeting to announce?
Yeah, it was a team meeting, but it was virtually. So obviously you can't get the same emotions that you want to virtually. But guys are excited. At first you're kind of like, wow, because we've been through this roller coaster ride before. We came back in late June, early July, thinking that we're going to play in August, and we kind of got halted. But it's excitement, you know. It's like we love the game of football. You always want the opportunity to play, especially seeing the other colleges play at this point. None of us want to be a fan for too long, and so guys are excited, and it's shifting that excitement to focus and doing what we can to make the best out of this season.
You graduated from Stanford in June, right?
Right.
So congratulations on that. I mean, that's an amazing accomplishment in and of itself. Did you at any point think back and think, man, maybe I should have gone to the NFL and tried my hand at professional football? Did you ever regret the decision to stick around considering everything that happened?
Definitely. I mean, there was always a roller coaster of emotions when going through this. You know, it definitely may have been a not simpler route, but more straightforward route because, like I said, this whole process when they sent us home first in March because of COVID, it was kind of crazy. So this whole thing's been a roller coaster ride emotionally and also and just mentally. And so those thoughts definitely going in my head. But I live my decision. I'm happy with my decision. I think that since we are being allowed to play this November, we're going to make the most out of this. I'm going to make the most out of these 7 to 8 games. And I'm just excited to get out there and play. I'm excited to see what my preparation this time has done and what me and my team can show. So
you mentioned 7 or 8 games. What's your feeling on an abbreviated season?
It's tough. It obviously is not ideal. You know, guys want to see a full 10, 12-game season, but obviously with the circumstances, things had to change. In the ideal world, we would have never canceled, and it kind of would have went perfectly flowed through starting in mid-September like other conferences did, but obviously we can't change that now. I think this 7 to 8 game season is going to work for what we have, and guys are going to have to go out there and do what they can.
Do you think the Pac-12 should be involved in the college football playoff, playing only in a 7-game schedule?
I definitely think it depends on when we end. I think if we get through this 7-game schedule at the end as with all the other conferences. I definitely think we should be a shot to get into that mix. I think that's kind of one of the reasons for trying to ramp up in November is so that we can have the sort of same ending time as other conferences, so we can be measured on the with the other schools across the country.
You watching college football each Saturday right now?
Of course, I have to, especially being the fans, but I have to.
So, what's been your reaction, man? Like, it's so strange, right? I mean, with no fans and just all the everything. Just what's it been like for you watching college football here this last month?
It's different, you definitely can feel a different vibe out there with no fans and guys just kind of just no extrinsic motivation, just playing with them. You kind of see the random upsets, the random team that you wouldn't think would be that good, and the college football world kind of showing out. So it's been exciting too to watch. I was able to catch the game with LSU Mississippi State this weekend because KJ Costello was our quarterback for the past 3 years. It was really, really cool watching that game and watching him fall out this weekend. But it's been weird watching it. But you can see that things are a little different in college football now with everybody playing under different circumstances.
Hey man, I didn't think it was cool watching KJ Costello ball out on Saturday. All right, just for the record, I don't think many people listening here in Baton Rouge thought that was too cool to see, man. You might be on an island with yourself on that one. All right.
Right, that's my guy, man. I was captain with that guy last year, and when he was one of my best friends coming in with me, and it was crazy seeing him in a different jersey, but I'm always happy to see him successful.
Did it surprise you at all? I mean, 623 yards. That's stunning.
Well, I played Mike Leach in his offense. I played him every year, and Washington State was the only team I haven't beat in my career. And so I know how lethal and effective that offense can be. So I've seen it firsthand, and also know how great of a quarterback KJ is. So I wasn't necessarily surprised because I know with the combination of an amazing quarterback like KJ and Mike Leach's offense, with an offense where you know what's going to happen, and the execution is so well that they still complete passes, I kind of knew what they were capable of doing. And like I said, it was great to see KJ have that success.
Well, I could go a million different directions with this. Like, I feel like I could talk to you forever. I keep lobbing softballs to you. You just knock them out the park over and over again. But I got to ask one more about Leach. Like, besides the obvious, having to defend 60 or 70 pass attempts, what makes it so hard to defend that offense?
It's because that their execution from doing this from countless hours in training is just so well that no matter what coverage you're in, they have an answer. When you look at KJ back there, and he probably has the initial pre-snap read, but that instantly shifts once he recognizes what coverage is doing. So there's so many outlets, so many people you have to cover that you're not used to covering. When you're not used to seeing 5 guys get out in the pass concept, and now a running back can have 150 yards receiving. So it's just the fact that every eligible guy on the team has the opportunity to catch the ball, and most teams don't do that. Most teams leave guys in to block. Most teams just have concepts that you kind of know, but this team is just all over the place, but they execute on such a high level that it's really hard to stop.
Yeah, unfortunately, we all got a up-close view of that on Saturday. Hey, Malik, man, I'm really, really excited that you all are going to get to play, especially seniors like you, going to get to play your final year. As always, we appreciate a couple of minutes of your time. Stay healthy. Best of luck, man. Hopefully we catch up again down the line, all right?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. It's our pleasure. Malik Antoine, U-High, of course, to Stanford. He's a senior captain now. Looked like his senior year was going to be canceled when the Pac-12 canceled, but now they've reinstated the season. Malik, good enough to share some of his thoughts there. What an odd season it's been for everybody, but certainly for those guys as well. And I appreciate his candor, saying, look, man, yeah, of course I gave it second thoughts. I had a chance to go to the league, decided to come back and play another year, and then it gets canceled. Was it the right decision? So roller coaster of emotions for those guys, but it's working out. And those are the guys that the players, obviously, and the fans that are going to get to see their season. Those are the people I feel best for with these leagues coming back for sure. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. We're brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson, and Bluebonnet Dine-In or Carry Out. We will knock out a quick break, come back. Saints injury report. We'll give you that update. Let's hear what Sean Payton had to say when he met with the media. Stick around here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Insurance Network of Louisiana. They're online at lainsurance.net, lainsurance.net. Better coverage for less money. That's what I tell you every single day. Let them shop independently to see if they can get you better coverage for less money on your auto, on your home, on your camp, your RV, your boat, your motorcycle, whatever it may be. Maybe you have kids on your policy, your children on your policy. How about this one? This is an AFR listener, had been with Liberty Mutual, writing home, auto, and rental properties. They were paying over $16,000 annually for all of that. Now they're saving $4,923 a year. Along with those savings, lowering the hurricane deductible by $5,000, lowering the wind hail deductible from $5,000 to $1,000. A lot of moving parts, but tons of great savings and tons of great perks as well. Better coverage, saving almost $5,000 a year. Better coverage for less money. Insurance Network of Louisiana, lainsurance.net.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Corval Toyota in Opelousas, you can get into a RAV4 for $3,000 off MSRP. That's right, $3,000 off MSRP. And we have plenty in stock. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but two NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
Foundation failure is common in South Louisiana, and that's why homeowners here turn to a local company they can trust, Wcka Foundation Repair.
Wcka is the only company that specializes in drilled piers, the ideal solution for Louisiana's unique soil conditions. Wcka is locally owned and operated by a group of professionals with years of experience.
Learn more about the signs of foundation failure on WCKFoundationRepair.com. Call for a free estimate. WCK Foundation Repair. Support the home team.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Keep reminding you all day today. Remember, today is the last day. Today at midnight it ends. This is your last opportunity to enter the Sazerac Tailgate at Home Sweepstakes. Grand prize, you, a dozen friends hanging out with me and Jay Ducote for the football game on Monday night, October the 12th. will be at the Sazerac House, corner of Magazine and Canal in New Orleans. Catered food, open bar. We'll watch New Orleans against Los Angeles on the 24-foot screen that drops out of the ceiling in the ballroom. Gorgeous, overlooking Canal and Magazine. I'm telling you, this is going to be an awesome place to be. It is free to enter, but today is the last day to enter. All you have to do is text Sazerac Tailgate. One word, no space. Text Sazerac Tailgate to 888-111. Text Sazerac Tailgate, one word, no space, to 888-111 for your chance to win. Again, details are pinned on both my Twitter and Facebook pages. And I think I put it on my Instagram story as well. So no excuses. Enter today. Today's the last day to enter. I will announce the winner, I assume, next week. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Saints are certainly looking to get back to their winning ways. They're at Detroit this week, and this is kind of one of those sort of perplexing type games where you're looking at a Detroit team that doesn't have a great record but has been close and doesn't do a lot of great things statistically well. But you don't want to sleep on any team because you understand what's ahead of you. It is interesting, however, for New Orleans that this week for the game, it's the first NFL on Fox noon kickoff for the Saints this year. It'll be their first noon kickoff of the season, which is actually pretty interesting considering that's where they traditionally play. But also on the call this week for Fox is going to be former New Orleans Saint Jonathan Vilma. So pretty cool to see former Saint Jonathan Vilma on the call for the game this week up in Detroit. He left ESPN where he was working covering college football and now is calling NFL games for the NFL on Fox. So we'll get to see Jonathan Vilma or hear Jonathan Vilma on the call. And each of his first 3 weeks, by the way, he had a different play-by-play man along with him. But now he's sort of settled in, I would assume, with Kenny Albert and Shannon Spake. So a couple of things as we look forward to this game. Sean Payton talked about, if you could too, Brain, Sean Payton talking about Detroit and how they've looked so far through the first few weeks.
Yeah, I think to some degree. I mean, look, they're ahead in the Green Bay game, and then Green Bay obviously is a good team. They come back and get the win. They're way ahead in the Chicago game and give up some big plays, and then they win a big game on the road. So, look, we're focused entirely on their defense, offense, and the kicking game, but we're just as importantly focused on ourselves and correcting the stuff that we need cleaned up.
What about Matt Stafford, a veteran quarterback who's had sort of a rough start, as have much of the Lions this season?
I thought he played one of his better games last weekend. I think, they're a dangerous team, especially when they're healthy at receiver, and having Galladay back in the lineup, I think, is significant for them. He's got all the arm talent that you want at that position. He can fit it in the tight windows. I think he's played well.
Speaking of Galladay, here was Peyton talking about Stafford getting one of his biggest threats back this week.
First thing that comes to mind is his downfield scoring threat. He's a big play target. He had great production a year ago. Matt's got a ton of confidence in him, and if you just look at his numbers from a year ago, I think it's pretty evident.
So Stafford and that offense are getting healthier. Talk about Adrian Peterson, the ageless wonder, who is taking the bulk of the carries for Detroit. Get to that in a second. But obviously, we're going to keep an eye on the injury report for New Orleans this week to see how some of those really key members of the Saints fare throughout the course of the week. And the injury report today is extensive when you look at where they stand right now on Wednesday with the first injury report. So Andrews Pete, Jared Cook, Janoris Jenkins all did not practice. So Pete with his ankle, Cook with a groin injury, and Janoris Jenkins they list as an illness. Those three did not practice. 3 starters not practicing on Wednesday. The good news, potentially great news, is that Marcus Davenport, David Onyemata, and Michael Thomas all practiced today. Now, they were limited, but Davenport, Lattimore, Onyemata, Thomas, and Chase Hansen all practiced but were limited. So we thought that the Saints might get Davenport back last week, and that didn't happen. It led a lot of people, yours truly included, to wonder why they didn't just start him on IR. Because as we know, in this COVID year, if you're on IR 3 weeks, then you can come back. So why wouldn't you just start Davenport this season on IR if you knew you were going to be without him 3 weeks? Clearly, they thought they'd get him back before then. They didn't. But now he's practicing, again, limited with the elbow. But Sean Payton said earlier in the week that they hope they get Davenport back this week, and this is an indicator that they're moving toward that. Michael Thomas has got to be the biggest news here significantly. Thomas has missed a couple games already after suffering that ankle injury in week 1 against Tampa. There's a gigantic question when it comes to ankles, and we all know it. When you have that ankle sprain, if you don't give it the proper time to heal, then it's easier to re-aggravate, and then it lingers. We've seen that over and over again. It happened last year with Alvin Kamara. He had the ankle and the knee, and he was never right all year because he never gave it enough time to get right. If you want to go back even further, from an LSU standpoint, think about Leonard Fournette back in 2016. He rolled his ankle in fall camp. He re-injured it against Wisconsin in that opener, and it never was right all season long. So that makes me a bit leery for Mike Thomas. It's not something that's just going to heal as you keep playing on it. You've got to just give it time to heal to be 100% before you get going again. So I am leery of Thomas going out there and re-injure it, aggravating it, making it worse. But I also don't think that they're going to run him out there if they didn't feel like he was ready to go. That said, again, if you thought he was going to be out 3 weeks or more, you would have just put him on IR. They haven't done that, so this would be week 3. It would make a lot of sense if he were out on the field in some capacity for New Orleans. And as we all know, that completely changes the dynamics of this offense when you have a healthy Mike Thomas as opposed to not having him out there. But again, the injury report, Andrus Peat with the ankle, Jared Cook with the groin, Janoris Jenkins listed illness, all did not practice. And then Davenport, Lattimore, Onyemata, Thomas, Hansen, all practiced, but all were limited. Marshawn Lattimore is listed as limited with a hamstring. As for Detroit, Desmond Trufant, Hunter Bryant, Deshaun Hand, and C.J. Moore all were on the injury report. Only Moore of those 4 did not practice. The other 3 were all limited. So really, Detroit is pretty healthy. The Saints injury report is extensive, but it looks like they might be getting some starters back this week, most notably Davenport and Michael Thomas. We'll keep an eye on that as the week moves along. A couple of other things from Sean Payton as he met with the media today. He did talk about Alvin Kamara and his yards after the catch and how this feels like sort of an extension of the running game in this offense.
Whether you statistically put it down as a reception or just a gain, we're trying to move the football. We're not keeping track of how many rushes in the first half or how many passes. Obviously, we want to have balance, and that's something that we look to have in each game, the ability to run the football. But, he's playing well for us, and he's an explosive player. We need to continue to look at ways of getting him the ball in his hands.
It's one thing for Sean Payton to say he wants balance. It's another to actually go out and do it. And as of right now, the Saints on the season have run the ball 73 times, and they've thrown the ball 105 times. So they are imbalanced run to pass right now, and I would really like to see that average out more to the mean. And a passing play is a passing play is a passing play, and it's certainly different regardless if it's a screen or if it's a downfield, shorter and immediate route. Establishing the run is important for this team, and they need to do it. I think Sean Payton understands that as well. There's one other thing I wanted to let you hear Sean Payton talk about. It was really interesting because I've heard this angle a bit, that part of the reason we're seeing an increase in scoring early in this NFL season is because officials aren't throwing as many flags. We actually have seen over the first 3 weeks a slight uptick in the number of flags for holding and thrown from week 1 on, because it was surprisingly low in the first week of the season. So Sean Payton was asked if he's noticed a change in the way that officials are calling games. And look, maybe whether you want to acknowledge it or not, part of that could be the lack of a crowd to influence a flag. I mean, if you think about it, if if a crowd goes bonkers and the home team, the receiver's running a deep route and there's contact and the crowd goes bonkers, sometimes you're going to get that flag with no crowd. Is that changing things?
I don't think we've noticed it specifically. I mean, we've certainly noticed calls that are affecting our team adversely, and specifically, our DPI numbers, our holding calls defensively on the perimeter have to get cleaned up, and then obviously you notice the calls that shouldn't have been made.
Sean Payton, coloring between the lines, but really bordering that edge, talking about how games are called against the New Orleans Saints, which has been a touchy issue for this franchise for quite some time, which certainly was exacerbated with the no call, as we all know. But keep an eye on those numbers, not just with New Orleans, but across the league, as you continue to see scoring up. A big part of that, some are suggesting, is the fact that you're just not seeing as many penalties thrown, which could certainly kill drives, holding, and things along those lines. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. We're brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson, and Bluebonnet Dine-In or Carry-Out. Let me knock out a quick break. An honor for a former LSU Tiger in the NFL, and LSU baseball is on the diamond, practicing right now for the first time this year. Get you a quick update on the baseball Tigers. Not going to go too deep dive there, but we'll get you an update. Tigers and the pros still to come later this hour. And Russ Mitchell next hour, previewing the weekend ahead in the SEC about 45 minutes from right now. Glad you're here on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Ichiban, Essen near Perkins, Airline Highway in Gonzales. Make it an Ichiban night. It's always a great night to make it an Ichiban night. Most creative specialty rolls, the freshest fish. But even if you don't love sushi, there's something on the menu for everyone, like the bone-in ribeye, the chicken katsu, which is panko-crusted chicken with tonkatsu sauce. They got the tuna steak with Asian pesto, the baked salmon dinner. They've even got an amazing appetizer. It's char-grilled oysters, but it's sort of an Asian flair. They serve it with wonton chips, and it's Asian chili butter on the char-grilled oysters. Just trust me, they're amazing. Try them at Ichiban. Essen near Perkins, Airline Highway in Gonzales. The most creative specialty rolls, the freshest fish. They've got an amazing ambiance as well. If it's a date night, if you're entertaining a client or need a fun night out for the family, you can get by Ichiban, either location. Essen near Perkins, Airline Highway in Gonzales. Make tonight an Ichiban night.
$11,000 off MSRP on a new 2020 Ford F-150. Buy a new one for less than a used one. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
So, a little bit of breaking news here. The conference commissioners have declined college football playoff expansion this year. So, the Pac-12 and Commissioner Larry Scott asked the rest of the College Football Playoff Management Committee to consider having an 8-team playoff this year for the national championship. And the request was made because clearly there's been a disrupted season and conferences aren't all playing the same number of games and they're starting at different times, et cetera, et cetera. And there's no non-conference matchups between Power 5 teams. So Larry Scott said, hey, College Football Playoff Management Committee, how about we expand the playoff this year? And apparently Bill Hancock, and this is according to a report from Ralph Russo at the Associated Press, said the 10 FBS commissioners and Jack Swarbrick, who's the Notre Dame athletic director, they make up the management committee, said they had civil and thoughtful discussion. Quote, to do it now, it's such a significant change with so many challenges, especially with the season started, they thought it was best not to make that change. I think this is a very obvious course of action. And to be very clear, I am for college football playoff expansion. There are some of those of you who say, no, I'll stick with 4. The problem is, with 4, you know who's going to be in every year. Like, yes, it's expanded, it's better than 2, but you still, it's no surprise we've had Bama and Clemson and Ohio State and Oklahoma. Every now and again, you've seen Washington or Michigan State slip in. But by and large, 3 of the 4 spots are the same teams every damn year. Because that's how this system is set up. It's going to reward those teams. So if you actually want to have more of an opportunity to get more teams in the playoff and involved, you can say, well, how do they deserve? Do they deserve to be there? Do they belong to be there? Well, I mean, look at every other sport in the world has a larger playoff than 4 teams. I mean, yes, you absolutely should have more than 4. I think 8 is a good number. I'd be fine with 16 with on-campus games. Let me see 1 versus 16 in an on-campus venue. I think it would be great theater, but we're a long, long ways away from that. So I wanted to be clear. I am in favor of an expanded playoff. Sure. I also am not certain that that's something we're going to see anytime in the current contract. But this year in particular, I would not have been in favor of an expanded playoff just as a result to give the Pac-12 an opportunity to get in. That I'm really not okay with. And I also think there are logistically things that were going to prohibit that from happening. Number one, and most obviously, is the fact that you've got semifinal dates and championship dates already locked in. You have the Rose Bowl and the Sugar Bowl contractually obligated to host the national semifinals this year, and Miami is hosting the national championship game on January the 11th. So if you're those bowl games and those venues and you've set up in your turn in the rotation to host the championship game, that's a major boom for you economically, from for your sponsors, for your television partners, for everybody. It's massively significant. So there was no way they were going to stray from that this year. Moving forward, if there's an opportunity, okay, let's see how that may work out. But this obviously wasn't the year that was going to happen. I can certainly respect Larry Scott of the Pac-12 trying to fight for elbow room at the table, but realistically, you made this bed, now you have to lay in it. You're the one who preemptively canceled your season. When 2 months ago, instead of canceling like a Chicken Little, you could have delayed like everybody else. And you could have been ready to go in October or mid-October or whatever. And you could have been more in line with the rest of college football to be able to go play. But you didn't. You made this bed, now you have to sleep in it. Your poor leadership early has left you and your member institutions in this lurch where not only are you going to have an undefeated 7-0 team who then wins a Pac-12 championship to get to 8-0, but you're going to have someone do it massively in a really impressive manner. And I don't know that that's actually possible or going to happen this year for the Pac-12. But I can certainly understand and respect his trying for his team, but they're in this situation because of him and the complete lack of leadership there. So, in any event, it'll be a 14 playoff again this year, and I'm perfectly okay with that. All right, to tap to further review, if you want to join us, you can. 499-1045, toll-free 844-568-MATT, 844-568-6288. You can tweet the show at Matt Moscona, at 1045ESPN. You can jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat, always there as well, if you want to get involved. Congrats to Justin Jefferson, former LSU receiver, rookie now with the Minnesota Vikings. Scored his first touchdown on Sunday, a 71-yarder, a catch and run for Jets. But not only that, but man, he absolutely, aside from just that catch, he had an amazing day. 7 catches, $175, and a score. He now has the number 3 spot all-time for single-game receiving yardage for a rookie in Vikings history. Sammy White had 210 yards back in 76. Randy Moss had 190 yards in 1998, and now Jefferson. So, incredibly, he's in rarefied air with the week that he had. But the other thing that was crazy is Pro Football Focus did their grades for the entire NFL, and the best player at any position with the highest grade this week was Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson's PFF grade this week was a 93.8. So that made him the offensive player of the week. Xavier Rhodes from the Colts was the defensive player of the week, and Jefferson obviously was the rookie of the week. But his 93.8 grade was the highest of any player in the NFL and the third best single game grade ever that Pro Football Focus has recorded by a rookie wide receiver in the PFF era, which dates back to 2006. So an incredible week for Justin Jefferson in his breakout week. But you know what I started thinking about whenever I saw this and I saw the day Jefferson had, and I know we've talked about this a bit, but when you think about all of the LSU guys from last year's football team that are in the NFL, it's not just that they lost a bunch of players. They did. They lost, 14 guys were drafted, and we all know the number, right? And then you've had other guys leave early now. But it's not just that you had these guys drafted. It's guys that were drafted and are making a massive impact from jump in the NFL. I mean, Joe Burrow is starting for the Bengals. Got 5 touchdowns, 1 pick. You know that week 1, that awful shovel pass interception he threw against the Chargers to Melvin Ingram? You know what I'm talking about? That's his only interception of the year. Patrick Queen has 21 tackles. It's second on the Ravens. Lloyd Cushenberry starting for Denver. Damian Lewis was starting for Seattle until he got injured this past week. Caleb Von Chasson, he's starting for Jacksonville. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 240 rushing yards, 102 receiving yards so far through 3 games. Jacob Phillips was starting for Cleveland until he got injured. I mean, my point is, it's not just that you got guys who were drafted. They're all playing and having big impacts as rookies, which is great to see for them. but also illustrates again why 2019 LSU was so special. I know I'm underscoring this, putting an exclamation, but we had this conversation so much after the championship season. And my point was, about like 01 Miami, when people draw that comp, I think 01 Miami, their star shone brighter as the years went along because so many guys from that team went on to be drafted, first round, have really good NFL careers. So we look back fondly on that team. And I said, I think the same is going to happen for 2019 LSU because you're going to see not only in the 2020 draft, but 21 and 22, all the guys that were key components of that championship team are going to be drafted high and then go and have really good NFL careers. And you're going to see history look back very favorably on 2019 LSU as well. And you're already seeing it through 3 weeks of the season, the impact the guys from that team are having as rookies on their NFL franchises. All right, Tap to Further Review brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson and Bluebonnet, dine in or carry out. 24 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice cold draft beer, full-service bar, and sports on TV at Pluckers. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. All right, we're wrapping up hour number 2 when we come back. Brain will have Tigers and the pros, and I did want to give you just a quick thought as LSU opens fall baseball out at Alec Box Stadium. All the practices are closed to the public because of COVID concerns. Normally, they're all open to the public, but COVID concerns, so everything's closed right now. But still, baseball Tigers are out on the field for fall baseball, which is pretty cool that they're getting that ramped up right now. Russ Mitchell in 30 minutes from right now. We'll recap this past weekend and look ahead to the weekend ahead in the SEC. Glad you are hanging out with us here on a Hump Day edition of AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Pluckers here every Hump Day. And today is a day really unlike any other. You've got Major League Baseball postseason and the NBA Finals going on at the same time. The Major League Baseball postseason and the NBA Finals have never happened in the history of the world at the same time. They are today. So if you need a place to watch NBA Finals Game 1 and Major League Baseball postseason without having to flip back and forth channel to channel, go to Pluckers. Nicholson just south of campus, or Bluebonnet right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. Go to the Bluebonnet location. They got that big wall of TVs in the dining room or at the bar where they got all the TVs just encircling the top of the bar where you can have an unobstructed view of every single game all at once. And you can eat award-winning jumbo chicken wings and drink ice-cold draft beer. It's at Pluckers. Nicholson, Bluebonnet, dine in, carry out. Pluckers, where if you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
I was checking the Bayou Ford YouTube chat. Matt Plavidal said, I can already tell you what Russ had to say about LSU with a vomiting face emoji. Need I remind you that Russ Mitchell spilled the beans here a couple of years ago that he actually attended LSU? Suffice to say that, and I don't ever answer my phone. I don't answer my phone. Game day, post game, I'm doing whiskey and wine. I don't answer my phone. Don't text me, don't call me. You're not getting a reply. And Russ called, and he knows this. And during whiskey and wine, Russ called me about 10 times. And he starts texting me like, hey man, I'm in a panic. You got to answer my call. I'm like, hey, I'm not answering your call, bro. So needless to say, whatever you were feeling on Saturday, the fan in him was feeling as well. Now, he may bring it sort of objectively here as best he can, but they're objectively, LSU was putrid on Saturday, giving up 623 passing yards. I don't know if you could say much else. All right, it's after further review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers. Gave you a little update on Justin Jefferson, highest grade for Pro Football Focus in the entire NFL for Week 3. Let's find out what else is happening with the pros. Tigers in the pros. Brain, take it away.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Kentucky's Best Hemp. Find them online at kysbesthemp.com.
So I'm guessing I should skip the whole thing on Justin Jefferson.
Oh, you had it?
Yeah, well, I mean, that was what I was, yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. I mean, a 93.8 grade. I have no idea what goes into that grade, by the way.
You've only got like 20 other guys in the NFL and multiple guys playing postseason baseball.
Yeah, well, I'm going to have the guys playing postseason baseball.
Stop your complaining.
But as far as the NFL, nobody did anything new from yesterday to today.
Stop your complaining.
All right, then let's shift over to baseball.
You complainy complainer.
DJ LeMahieu went 2 for 5 for the Yankees last night.
Why don't you tell me what's going on with the LPGA?
I have nothing on the LPGA
What about
today.
the PGA?
Nothing going on a Wednesday
what
on
about
the PGA.
tennis?
I actually looked up tennis and no.
What about the WNBA?
Teresa Plaisance is in the WNBA finals, but she didn't play last night.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Decision.
That's one that you could have had.
Oh, yeah, solid update right there. She didn't play.
Okay.
DJ LeMahieu went
worth noting.
All right. DJ LeMahieu went 2 for 5 for the Yankees last night. LeMahieu drove in a run and scored a run, and the Yankees 12-3 win. Yanks will be back out on the field again tonight.
Did they hit the over?
The over was at 6.5.
Oh, so the Yankees themselves doubled the over.
A little bit more than that. Yeah. The Yankees themselves. Yeah, there you go. Alex Bregman's having a bit of a rough start to the postseason. 0 for 4 last night. Did get one to drop in today. Went 1 for 3 in Houston's 3-1 win.
So something did happen
over the Twins.
Yesterday.
What?
So something did happen since we last did the segment yesterday.
No, absolutely. In baseball, I got like 2 or 3 guys. Sure. Austin Nola's playing right now. You're darn right, Catholic High. Austin Nola.
That's pretty cool. You went from a crappy team in Seattle to a team at least in the postseason.
Padres are down 4-2 to the Cardinals, but one of those two runs is Nola's responsible for with an RBI, although he's 0 for 0 right now. One more quick note. Tremont Waters' future might be up in the air, at least as far as where he'll be playing. The Celtics roster pretty much set heading into the offseason. Just about everyone's under contract, with two exceptions, Taco Fall and G League Rookie of the Year Tremont Waters. And both Fall and Waters are restricted free agents, so he might not be moving, but Boston's probably looking for size in the offseason, and that's the one thing Waters does not have. That's Tigers in the pros.
Everybody needs size.
Yes. You'd be surprised.
That might have actually been more appropriate in the debate last night. Tigers in the pros, brought to you by Kentucky's Best Hemp. Hey, Brain, what's that website?
KYSBestHemp.com. KYSBestHemp.com.
You think it's going to catch on?
I don't know.
It's Lewis.
It's stuck in my head.
That's Lewis Coleman's company, former Tiger Lewis Coleman. If you have inflammation, if you have anxiety, if you have trouble sleeping, they even have doggy treats if your dog has anxiety. Musa told me this. He's got a dog that has all kind of anxiety. Gave him the doggy treats, work like a charm. All natural CBD. They got salve, oil, capsules, honey sticks, gummies, lots of different ways for you to treat yourself. All natural CBD from Kentucky's Best Hemp. Online at KYSBestHemp.com. KYSBestHemp.com. Promo code AFR30 to save 30%. That's AFR30. Hour 3 coming up right after SportsCenter.
AFR.
Brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. 288-8138. 288-8138 or ReliefWindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, Relief Windows, and ReliefWindows.com. This is actually an awesome time to call Relief Windows. Here's why. You're getting a reminder of what the temps are going to do soon. So tomorrow starts October. The low tonight's 56 degrees. You know soon we're going to be in a winter. And every single year, people cost themselves money when they crank up their heater and they have leaky windows. And what happens? The hot air from your heater just exits, or you let the cool air draft in because you have cracks in your doors or leaky windows. You can nip that in the bud right now to make your home more energy efficient for when it gets cool outside and your heater doesn't have to work as hard. Your home becomes more energy efficient, saves you money on your energy bills, and increases your home's resale value. Windows, doors, siding. ReliefWindows.com.
At Cordell Toyota in Opelousas, you can get into a Tundra for $7,000 off MSRP. That's right, $7,000 off MSRP. And we have plenty in stock. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Cordell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but two NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor, you could control with your iPhone. They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into front-to-back boat services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front-to-back boat services.
Do you know the proper way to prevent the spread of COVID-19 in your office? We do. We're Jani-King, a leader in the cleaning industry for over 30 years, and we've developed comprehensive programs to address proper cleaning and disinfection. We have experience in applying disinfecting programs in hospitals, office buildings, schools, and other venues. Now we're ready to help and able to assist customers that need disinfecting services.
Jani-King, the king of clean.
Hand Injury Lawyers.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. The Los Angeles Lakers are in the NBA Finals for a record 32nd time. They have 16 titles, just one behind the Celtics on the league's all-time list. Game 1 for the Lakers and Heat tonight. ESPN's Jeff Van Gundy.
I find it interesting that no matter who coaches LeBron James, they get very little credit. But the guy that LeBron James is often compared to, Michael Jordan, his coach, Phil Jackson, got a ton of credit.
Jeff Van Gundy on Greeny. Lakers and Heat, Game 1 tonight at 8:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ABC TV. Baseball finals today. The Marlins take Game 1 against the Cubs 5-1. All 5 of those runs in the 7th inning. The Braves beat the Reds 1-0 in 13 innings on Freddie Freeman's walk-off hit. Game 1 in that series. And the Astros eliminate the Twins today 3-1. They advance to the American League Division Series. The Steelers-Titans game will not be played in Nashville Sunday. It may be played Monday or Tuesday.
Hey, it's Greeny, and Thursday we look back on the busiest day in baseball history and Game 1 of the NBA Finals. It's Greeny, starting noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
The Brain.
Hey, the brain got a poop.
And Mr. Toby Tom Play. We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Russ Mitchell in 15 minutes. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day!
Hump day!
Yeah!
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Russ Mitchell in 15 minutes.
It's hump day.
We'll recap the disaster from Tiger Stadium this past weekend.
Hump day!
You think Russ is going to be drinking?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
I do.
It's hump day.
We'll preview the games ahead this weekend in the SEC.
Hump day!
We had Robert Munson in hour 1.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We had Malik Antoine in hour 2.
It's hump day.
Miss any of it, AFR On Demand.
Hump day!
Presented by Breckall.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
All right, let's dive into it here. Saints injury report is out. If you haven't heard yet, Marcus Davenport and Mike Thomas both practiced today. Limited, but both practiced. Really good news that they're on the field this early in the week. We'll look for continued injury reports throughout the week. Andrews Peak did not practice for the Saints today with their first injury report that was released. As that moves along, we'll certainly keep you up to date. So it's Wednesday, which also means that Ed Orgeron was on the SEC coaches teleconference today. He did give an update on Derek Stingley. Stingley's practicing. They anticipate he is going to play on Saturday, which is fantastic news. Ed Orgeron was also asked a lot about Miles Brennan, and that's something that you would expect is going to be a part of this narrative with this team throughout the entire season. And the first thing Ed talked about was Miles Brennan making improvements from week 1 to week 2.
Good things. There were some positive things. 300-something yards pass, 350 passing. It was stepping up in the pocket, making better decisions, and he did it yesterday. He had a really good day yesterday. Miles is wanting to get better. It was his first game. I think that decision making, getting rid of the ball quicker, stepping up in the pocket.
More on Brennan improving.
Yeah, I think that he's going to be much improved. He was improved yesterday in practice, and again, Miles made some big plays. Man, he made some big throws down the field. We scored 34 points to 27 on offense. So he did a lot of good things, but there's some things he can get better at. We're just used to seeing elite at that position like we've seen, and we want him to become elite, and he's working towards that.
So I've been asked a bunch about the backup quarterbacks, as I think everyone has. It's the most, unless if you have Joe Burrow, it's been the most common question around LSU for a long time. People wanted to see Miles Brennan when Danny Etling was struggling. It's just kind of the nature of how this goes. But LSU has 2 freshmen, and Ed Orgeron was asked about the 2 freshman backups and how that competition's going with Max Johnson and TJ Finley.
Great. I'm so proud of both of those guys. I mean, really. Max came in and TJ came in and worked hard. Both of them are able to go in the game. It all depends what defense we're going to see. It all depends what type of game it is. But right now, both of them are capable of going in the game, and I think they'll do very well.
Someone asked me an over-under on, whenever we'd see the one of the freshmen play, and I think you would see it Saturday. Not because I think Miles Brennan's going to struggle, because I think LSU will have a large enough lead late in the game that they're going to put the young guys in. At this point, I don't see the point in not playing them. And remember, typically as a coach, you've got to keep in mind that 4-game rule to maintain a redshirt year, where you could play 4 games and still maintain a redshirt year. But everyone in college football this year gets essentially a free year of eligibility. I mean, you could play, those freshmen could play every single game this year and still be a freshman next year in classification. So why not? If you have the opportunity to get those guys out there, I would so much rather have them taste it, even if it's just to take a snap and hand off. Of course, you like to see them function within the offense, but even if it's just to let them taste it, it's so true that the more you do something, things are going to slow down. If you're a doctor, you're a physician, you're a surgical resident, even before you ever operate for the first time, you're going to go into an OR and stand next to a surgeon and observe. It's just different when you're actually in the OR watching it happen for real, as opposed to watching a video of it or working on a cadaver. I mean, in radio, the second time I did a show, I was better than the first. The 7,000th time I did a show, I was better than the first. I mean, it's just, the more you do it, the more comfortable you're going to be. So I'm for getting guys experience, as little or as detailed as it may be. Now, the other thing that Ed Orgeron did say today is that Dale Rosenthal, LSU starting left tackle, did not practice yesterday, and he's questionable for the game. If he's unable to go, that means Cam Wire will get the start at left tackle for LSU. So the depth on the line, on the offensive line, could be tested this week, and that was part of our conversation a lot during the offseason. I thought LSU's first 22 was really good. The depth was a problem, and you saw that manifest this past weekend in the secondary. You didn't have Derek Stingley. Look at the domino effect. Well, now, Dale Rosenthal, if he's not available at left tackle, in goes Cam Wire. How does that look? Here was Ed Orgeron on the play of the offensive and defensive line Saturday moving forward.
Yeah, to be honest, I was pleased with the defensive line play. I thought that they had struggled a lot during camp, the new system and new things, and we worked very hard. I thought they played very well. I mean, honestly, Ali Gay and Joe Evans came out there and played, had some pressure on the quarterback. Andre Anthony put some pressure on the quarterback. They could play better. The offensive line didn't play according to what I'd seen all camp. They gave up too many sacks, too many pressures. And it was a combination of technique and it was a combination of scheme. So we got to get better there.
So the offensive line didn't play up to his expectation, and now maybe you're losing your left tackle going on the road against a Vanderbilt team, which Pro Football Focus graded as the best defensive line for Week 4 in all of college football. a defensive line that limited Vanderbilt's best rusher, Isaiah Spiller, to 5 yards rushing in the first half. Now, he softened him up in the second half and at 117 for the game. 54 that came on one run. But still, that was a Vanderbilt line that played pretty well. Now you might be down your left tackle. Liam Shanahan, LSU starting center, had an opportunity to meet with the media, and he talked about what he saw on film of the offensive line after the opening game.
Yeah, it was a tough start to the year for us. We kind of struggled to get into a rhythm, I'd say, early. But like he said, yesterday we got on the film, we made a lot of corrections. I think we fixed up a lot of stuff. There's going to be a lot of stuff that we're going to have to be continuing to fix throughout this week. Because we're on to Vanderbilt now, and that's really where our focus is on now. So
he described Saturday as a wake-up call for the offensive line, and there was a level of truth with that unit where no matter how talented you are, if you don't play 5 as 1, you're going to struggle. Look, we talked about it, right? One of the sacks that Dare Rosenthal gave up was an inside move. Your left tackle had help with a tight end on his left. The thing you can't do is give up a pressure up the middle because you have help to the outside. Force everything to the outside where you have help. But he gave up a sack right in Miles Brennan's face up the middle. I mean, that's a missed assignment. Those are the types of things where you have to have 5 guys playing together as one, regardless of how much talent and skill that you may have. So Liam said it's a huge week for the team, but he also talked about Vanderbilt's defensive line that they're going to face.
Yeah, they look good. They got a kind of a different defensive scheme from Mississippi State, but they're good players across the board, and it's going to be its own unique challenge. And all we can do now is just get on the film, make sure that we're 100% prepared mentally for what they're going to be doing, and then really just attack practice today, tomorrow, Thursday. So we're ready to go on Saturday.
We will get a full Vanderbilt breakdown tomorrow on Thursday's show. We'll look forward to that, how that team looked coming out of week 1 and what we can expect week 2. It is worth noting that Vanderbilt's best linebacker, who had opted out of the season and then subsequently opted back in, did not play in the game against Texas A&M. Had a minor injury, but is expected to play this week against LSU. So that Vanderbilt defensive front, which played pretty well against Texas A&M, limited them to 17 points, should actually get some reinforcements this week when LSU comes to town. All right, it's after further review. We will do the postmortem on week 1 of the SEC, week 4 of the college football season, and look ahead to this coming weekend with Russ Mitchell of College Football News next.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery with 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area: Seagan near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Fall is here, y'all. It is going to be 56 degrees tonight. It is time to decorate. We're going to be at Clegg's Saturday morning, the Seagan Lane location, because Erica loves, we take Drew every year. We go get pumpkins over at Clegg's, take him to the pumpkin patch. Society loves to shop, and we take pictures with him with the pumpkins and all that sort of stuff. So if you're looking to decorate for fall, now's the time to get by Clegg's Nursery. Any of the 4 locations. They've got pumpkins with more arriving later this week. They've got hay bales, and they've got gourds and squash, all the ornate vegetables that you can use to decorate your patio, your front or back porch. It's Clegg's Nursery. And, of course, if you're a deer hunter, they got all your buckbusters and mobucks and deer corn and all that stuff as well. Buy local, shop local. Tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as a bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Flucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Flucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
I think Russ is going to be a great coach.
Russ Mitchell.
Kicking the tires and lighting the fires. Russ! Literally.
Well, I'm proud of Russ. I think Russ deserves it.
If they give you a nickname, you're good.
Rusty, come on up here. I'm getting tired of saying Tigers. There's too many Tigers in the league already.
I want you to stay here and take care of things, Russ.
You know, I mean, they're going to run this kid around like a rented step-headed mule.
You know, I haven't had much of a chance to talk to you man to man, Russ.
I'm a guy who spends all day breaking down Kentucky football.
Not going in our yard, Russ. It's going in our living room.
But I'm calling you out, man. We'll cut this clip and send it out there to Spurrier and the fellas.
It's like Troy.
Take it, Russ.
A rented step-headed mule.
State ran through y'all like a rented step-headed mule, buddy.
Yeah, how was your Saturday? Do
Um,
I need to look in my call log?
It was spectacular.
Do I need to look at my text messages, Russell?
I got to watch. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Hey, you wore an LSU jersey on this show. They all know, okay? They know.
No, that's not true. I wore.
That is true.
I did wear
LSU jersey sitting right there.
I did wear an LSU jersey. You know, we should do a Zoom call.
Okay.
For one time, because I've got Alex Box Stadium on my wall here.
Okay, we'll do that. We've done that. We've done it before. The audio is not great, but I don't mind doing it. I think it would be good. Okay, so
I just spent all this. All right, go ahead.
No. Okay, postmortem. Let's do that. We'll get to the other games.
I mean, there's just here. Look, at the end of the day, here's the bottom line. Completely objective. There's simply no excuse for this. None. Zero. None. There's no excuse for an LSU team. Doesn't matter if it's COVID. It doesn't matter if the stadium is empty. I mean, it doesn't matter who the head coach is for State. Doesn't matter who's playing quarterback or who's on defense or who the defensive coordinator is or how many people. You just let State set the SEC passing record against you, LSU at home. There's just no excuse for that. None. I mean, that will hang on Coach O and Pelini just as much as a national championship is something that you treasure. Now, that being said, I bet everybody who can hear the sound of my voice as a Tiger fan is still feeling warm and fuzzy about their 15-0. But, you know, that's the problem with feeling warm and fuzzy is you end up with stuff like Saturday, which is what makes programs like Alabama, you know, at least right now with Saban and Ohio State, so amazing that you can win and then the next year come back and be so dominant, you know?
Yeah.
Because that was pathetic what happened on Saturday in Tiger Stadium. Pathetic. I don't care what the final score was. Even if you all had won that, still 623 yards passing at home is pathetic.
When they tied it at 34, weren't you thinking, oh, okay, well,
yes.
this is where they're going to win. They're going to win ugly, but they're going to win, you know, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought that was going to happen because it's State. It's supposed to happen. It's supposed to happen. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, of all the programs in college football, right? Right? You know, I mean, but I still was sitting there like I had this running clock going. I had the stats going on the bottom of the screen thinking to myself, 500 passing yards. And then I look at the clock and I was thinking, my God, this guy's going to get over 600 passing yards. This isn't Joe Burrow and the LSU offense in 2019. This is Mike Leach in his first game in the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, man, that was embarrassing.
Yeah.
And if this was a normal year, if this was anything close to a normal year, and, you know, maybe who knows if you had two scrimmages, and I'm so glad we don't have scrimmages. But, you know, this directional North Texas games and that sort of thing. But who knows? Maybe it doesn't happen. Maybe it's not that bad. But you know what? It did, and it was just pathetic.
Hey, man, remember back in 2008, LSU coming off the championship, they played North Texas and had a blowout win at home, and they went on the road and think beat Auburn, and Auburn ended up not being very good that year. And then they went to Florida and were ranked third in the country and gave up 50-some-odd points. Got completely exposed. So to your point, I don't even know if it matters if you have the directional school. If you're without Stingley and you have that much defection in your secondary and you play that offense and you're sleeping, brother, you get embarrassed.
Yeah. And, you know, it's interesting because I've been talking a lot about that 2008 season for this week because a lot, you know, unless you're an LSU fan, most people don't remember that.
Sure.
But, you know, I'm trying to think back to programs that, you know, coming off a national championship that tanked that badly.
So I did this yesterday. The last program to win a championship, and the following year was not in either the playoff, New Year's Six, BCS, depending on which, you know, system.
Was it LSU?
No, it was Auburn. Auburn won in 2010. And then in 2011 they were 7-5 and went to the Chick-fil-A Bowl and won it and finished 8-5.
Yeah, and by the way, and then the next year,
Chiswick was fired. Yeah.
So you know, so I think what you're saying is it's not a particularly good sign. And I think you know Coach Orgeron deserves all the leeway, but you know this whole thing about we lost kids to the NFL, that's nonsense. Who cares? You know, I don't care. It doesn't mean you get a pass the next year. Yeah. You got to show up.
Russ, you remember last year? I mean, I know you do, but you remember last year? So Bama coming off a championship, they lost a bunch of guys early in the draft. And then last year around this time, remember, like, all of their linebackers got hurt. Dylan Moses got hurt. Christian Miller got hurt. Like, they had They're like all freshman linebackers. I mean,
and they hadn't won a national championship. They had been embarrassed, remember, in Santa Clara by Clemson.
Oh, that's right. They lost it. That's right. They won it
That's right.
They won it the year before against Georgia. That's right.
Right, and that was a significant weakness on that team, you know. And it wasn't really until the end of the year, by the time y'all got to play them in Tuscaloosa, that the center of that defense was even close to good. So yeah, I get it, man. I get it, but it's not an excuse. You don't get to say, "Oh, we had some injuries." Oh, well, okay, everybody has injuries, man. You still got to show up. You still can't look, man. It's one thing to lose a game and not play very well, like Alabama did against y'all in Tuscaloosa, because that game wasn't even close to the final score, right? You dominated that game. I mean, there were touch-and-go moments, but it's a complete another thing to give up 623 yards passing.
Yeah, I know.
It's epic.
We're gonna in the next segment preview this weekend ahead, but real quick, let's get a couple thoughts on the opening weekend. Who looked really good in your eyes?
Well, I thought Alabama looked great, and then they coasted in the second half. I think they were trying some different things. And by the way, I wouldn't read too much into Texas A&M Vanderbilt. That was a very vanilla offense that they were running. So, I'm a little concerned because anytime you let Vandy control the tempo like that, that's not a good sign. Mm-hmm. Vandy shouldn't control anything except your pay stub. So, I that worried me a little. I mean, how could you not be worried about Georgia in particular? Everyone wants to point at their quarterback, but they rushed the ball 42 times, right? And barely got over 100. Like 130 or 125 or something. I'll go back and check.
I'm looking at it. Let's see.
I know everybody's concerned about the quarterback situation and the uncertainty there. I suppose if I'm going to take two things, I would say Mississippi State's. It's going to be really fun watching the offense out of the state of Mississippi this year. And the second thing is three things. Second thing, Florida's offense is just fantastic. That kid Trask, for my money, he's the leader in the clubhouse right now for the Heisman, over Lawrence. And then the third thing is Georgia's defense is really legit. That's going to be a fun defense to watch this year.
Aside from LSU, biggest disappointment from the opening weekend?
LSU.
Aside from LSU, biggest disappointment from the opening weekend?
There's no biggest disappointment other than LSU. LSU was such a disappointment that it trumps any other disappointment.
Kentucky?
They have so much experience coming back on that team. But
fair to say we all expected maybe Kentucky to take a step. I thought they'd win. I thought they'd beat Auburn.
I thought Auburn would win, but I thought it would be much closer than that final score was. They couldn't get any offense going. And the other thing was they kind of, at the beginning of the game when you sit down and you say, what are the keys for this game? They actually kind of did most of the things that they set out to do at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
And they still lost by double digits.
I know. All right.
And it's not like Jordan Hare was empty, like Tiger Stadium. So it's not like it was the stadium. It was disappointing. And some of that you got to chalk up to Wilson coming back from injury, and he did not perform very well.
Russ Mitchell's with us, college football news, SEC writer, with us every single Wednesday here during the season, even extended out in the offseason, which is really cool. We'll knock out a quick break, come back and look ahead week 5 in college football, week 2 in the SEC. We'll preview the game. Stay here, AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Carriages in Bocage. CarriagesBR.com. CarriagesBR.com. Awesome time to go upgrade that fall wardrobe because Carriages has stocked the shelves with their fall apparel right now. Go see them at Carriages in Bocage. If you need dress shirts, if you need neckties or sport coats or suits, they've got you. An in-house tailor can always make something tailor-made for you. And their saying is, of course, if you have something tailor-made at Carriages, they will make it fit for life. Carriages in Bocage, CarriagesBR.com. All the fall vibes and fall brands you know and love, you'll see at Carriages in Bocage. And yes, they have officially licensed LSU gear. So if you'd like to celebrate that 2019 Natty, the officially licensed LSU National Championship logo on their Peter Millar performance gear, their collaboration with Johnny O brand. You'll find it all at Carriages in Bocage or online at carriagesbr.com. Carriagesbr.com. Tell them Matt sent you in to Carriages in Bocage.
Do you know someone who sets a good example for all of us to follow? Someone who, without being asked, shows leadership, selflessness, and service to their community? We believe that's the definition of a good citizen, and so does Citizens Bank and Trust.
So, if you know someone that sounds like what Jordy was just describing, nominate them to be your good citizen, and they'll have a chance to win $500 from Citizens Bank and Trust. Plus, we'll mention him right here on the show. So go to citizensbankandtrust.com for more details and nominate your good citizen.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
This isn't just another day, it's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but two NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Up.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Last day. This is the last day to enter the Sazerac Tailgate at Home Sweepstakes. This is the last day to enter. If you want to hang out, you, 12 friends, me, Jay Ducote, at the Sazerac House, Monday, October 12th, for Monday Night Football, New Orleans against Los Angeles. You want to watch with us on their 24-foot screen, catered food, open bar. It is going to be a hella good time. If you want to win, you will have to enter by today. It is free. Get out your phone right now. Text the word Sazerac Tailgate. One word, no space. Sazerac Tailgate to 888-111. Text Sazerac Tailgate to 888-111 and enter to win. It is free to enter. Today is the last day. Today is the last day. Today is the last day. Text Sazerac Tailgate to 888-111. Okay, Russ Mitchell is with us from College Football News, SEC writer, hangs out with us during football season. We recap and preview games. All right, let's look ahead.
Is today the last day?
To this week. You got to be emphatic.
Today the last day?
Look, people are, listen,
Today?
people are in their mode. You know what I mean? They're driving. They're kind of on cruise control. They're half listening. You want to get someone's attention, you have to go, last day. Today is the last day. Today is the last day. You have to get there. Today is the last day.
That, or you could get Ruffin to sing.
Oh, we could do that?
That was so bad.
Oh,
what is he doing? I mean, for as good as that restaurant is, man, he is not a singer. That is terrible.
Hey, that's your boy, man. He's my boy, too.
I know,
He's kind of everybody's boy.
Terrible,
But that's kind of his thing. He goes to all the tables. He'll sing you happy birthday. He always sings at the restaurant. Hey, bro, you're the one that's got to break that to him. You're gonna be like Simon Cowell on American Idol, telling a person they can't sing, and then they end up crying.
It's okay. I'll make him cry.
Oh,
I don't have a problem with that,
bro. Come on, man.
I'll just drink more with him.
Oh, yeah.
All right, where are we going?
Let's just go chronologically. South Carolina goes on the road to Florida. Muschamp back in Gainesville.
Yeah, that's not going to go well. I think that if you're looking at this and you're a Florida fan, you're asking yourself, what's going to stop us? Ole Miss actually has a decent secondary. Not great, but I mean, it's okay. And Trask looked spectacular. 6 touchdowns.
I know, man.
4. I mean, it was like he was playing in LSU secondary.
Oh, come on, man. That was no Derek Stingley. No Derek Stingley.
No, man. The whole show. South Carolina, look, if you're looking to hang your hat on anything, it's the fact that Ole Miss was able to throw the ball against Florida fairly well. The problem is you're South Carolina and you don't have Lane Kiffin as a head coach. So, you have a different Saban assistant coach as your head coach. So, look, this is a Gator offensive line that played well. They'll keep Trask upright. I think they'll run for over. I bet you that Florida runs for over 200 yards in addition to the passing, and they beat. What's the spread in this one?
18.
Oh yeah, I'd lay the points and take the Gators.
Tennessee hosts Missouri. I don't know that we could really take much from the Drinkwitz debut against Alabama. This might be a better gauge, right? What do you think about Mizzou going on the road to Knoxville?
The one thing that I noticed about Missouri is they didn't quit. They could have easily quit because that first half was embarrassing, man. They could have quit, but they didn't. So, that was impressive. And last week, the Vols struggled to move the ball. Did you see Tennessee was 1-12 on third downs? Not good. So if you're Missouri, you hope that, some of that fortitude you showed against Alabama, you can use to stop the Vols. I'm trying here, man. I'm really trying.
That's right. Next, Tennessee, right? Tennessee, next.
Yeah,
okay.
Tennessee.
All right. The biggest one is Auburn, Georgia, which we'll get to, but this is a massive one for Texas A&M. They got to go on the road to Alabama. They are a massive underdog, but if Jimbo is ever going to do it, right? I mean, everyone said this is the year you got to do it. You got the veteran quarterback, yada, 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 yada. So
what's the spread? What's the spread in this game?
17.5.
I would definitely take A&M on in terms of if I was wagering, and I never wager on children because they always break your heart. Although I did okay last week. I would tell you, first of all, don't read anything out of the Vandy game. You obviously didn't watch the Vandy game if you think that, because Texas A&M looked like a high school offense. I mean, they were really vanilla. So, I think that they're going to come out. It's a shame this game is in Tuscaloosa. Although, again, with no home crowd, it probably wouldn't make that great of a difference if it was in College Station. I think A&M's going to come out of this. Mond is going to be solid. I think they're going to be really fired up. And the game will be closer than I think a lot of folks think coming off last week for both teams. But Mac Jones looked good, man. He was solid, really solid. He was crisp. He didn't throw the ball that much, 24 passes, but he connected on about 75% of them. But it was just the throws were crisp. He read down his progressions well. 250 yards, 2 touchdowns. Harris had 3 touchdowns on 100. Just a really solid team. I like Alabama by 14.
I want to leave time for the games that matter. Ole Miss, Kentucky, just real quick winner there. Quick thought.
Again, Kentucky's 15-1 over the last 2 years when they run the ball for 195 yards. So do you think you can run for 2 bills against Ole Miss?
Yeah.
Then Kentucky wins.
Arkansas.
I don't think so.
Arkansas.
I think Ole Miss wins.
Oh, really? Okay. Arkansas at Mississippi State. Arkansas put up a fight against Georgia.
They did, and certainly in the first half. The problem is Rakeem Boyd only ran for 21 yards. And that cat, in order for Arkansas, and I know they got a new coach, and maybe Boyd doesn't fit into his style, but, you saw firsthand and up close what you can do with your running back, what State did last week.
Mm-hmm.
And they were unable to do the same thing with Boyd that State did against y'all. They just don't. Arkansas doesn't have a team that can keep up with that Mississippi State offense. The spread in that game is 17.5, right?
I'm looking at 18 right now, but yeah, right in that neighborhood.
I can't believe this, but I would lay 18 points and take Mississippi State. 2020, huh?
I'm not.
You're giving up nearly 20 points and taking State.
I'm not betting Mike Leach teams because just as soon as they could do what they did this last weekend, they could look completely disjointed and vomit on themselves. So I'll have a great time watching them, but I don't think that I'm laying money on anything to do with Mississippi State. All right, the first top 10 matchup of the college football season. It's a rivalry game that we normally see at the end of the year, but Auburn goes to Athens. This is a 6:30 p.m. kickoff. I believe it's on ESPN. Georgia's about a touchdown favorite at home. What do you think?
Again, if I'm Georgia, I'm really worried. I'm worried about a lot of things, man. I mean, I'm worried about obviously the quarterback. I'm worried about the quarterback situation.
Okay,
I mean, what's going on there?
Does
man?
getting JT Daniels back make Georgia immediately better?
Who knows? I mean,
he's got to be better than Mathis and
oh my
Bennett.
God, he's better than a guy who's named after a hat. And the problem is they only rushed, as we talked about this in the last segment, 42. I looked it up. 42 carries for 121 yards against Arkansas. That's not good, man.
That's not good.
And when you run the ball 42 times, you're trying. And that's not good. And, I know Auburn's lost a lot of folks on the defensive line, but, they did fairly well against Kentucky. And, granted it's Kentucky, but again, Georgia's running for under 3 yards a carry. The problem is Georgia's defense is just legit. Secondary is terrific. The defensive front is going to get after an Auburn running game that didn't look that great against Kentucky. So if this game was at home, maybe, but on the road in Georgia, if the spread's more than 3, I'd take Auburn, but I like Georgia straight up.
Okay. LSU tries to get off the schneid to get their first win of the season. Look, man, first national champion to lose their season opener since Michigan back in 1998. They lost a home game to Notre Dame to open the season. So
to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I don't think anything is applicable this year. I saw that stat during the game. Who knows? To me, it was just embarrassing. That's the thing that stuck in my craw. Is if you're an LSU fan now, you got to listen to State guys laugh at you forever until somebody State. Man, that's good. You know why you're saying that, brother? Because you are still living in the glow of 15-0.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
That's why you're saying that.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, but that glow's going to wear off eventually.
Yeah, eventually, but for now, I'm good with it.
So this game couldn't come at a better time for Miles Brennan. Hey, kid, if you're listening right now, you got to find better things to do with your life. But if you're listening, Miles, listen, all right? You have hung around for 4 years. You know this offense. You know what you're supposed to do. Grab yourself by the you-know-what and let it rip, kid, all right? Throw the ball. You know where it's supposed to go. If it gets intercepted, fine. Don't just shake it off, go to the sidelines, and come back. It's the cost of doing business. Let it rip, all right? You know where it's supposed to go. Let it rip. I was listening to these people talk about the play calling. I actually didn't think the play calling was that bad. I thought that Enslinger's game was pretty good. There were guys wide open running across the middle of the field. Throw the ball. Throw the ball. That's A&M. If you're the offensive line at LSU, are you kidding me, man? Come on, man. You got to help your kid out. You got to block. I was just as disappointed with the offensive line as I was with the defense. That's not true. I was almost as disappointed with the offensive line. But, they weren't out on the field long enough in the first half to be able to tell.
True. All right.
This is the Commodores don't have the depth to keep up with LSU, and everybody knows that. They might be able to keep the first half a little closer and keep the tempo a little bit more in control. But to me, this all boils down to, can we see an LSU defense that adjusts if they have to at the halftime? Maybe. Maybe. Bueller. And Miles, you got to chuck the ball, buddy. Make the read, throw the ball.
At Russ Mitchell CFB, it's where you find him on Twitter, at Russ Mitchell CFB. College football news, SEC writer, he is Russ Mitchell.
How long has he been there? How long? This is his fourth year.
Miles, this is year 4.
Come on, kid. You got to throw the ball, man.
I'm with you. Grip it and rip it.
If you fail, you fail. But you gotta go for it.
Sling it, bro.
Yeah, I agree. I still like this kid. I think he can be. Yeah. I think he can be a winner. But it's just one game. But people are talking to me all week long about his stats. I don't know. If you just look at those stats in isolation, they look good. But I watched that game now twice, and he did not look good.
Russ Mitchell, college football news brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com.
South Point Volkswagen.
New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online, southpointvw.com. Thank you, Russ. Enjoy your weekend.
Did you see that electric SUV?
I did.
The Volkswagen.
I did.
Yeah, it's sharp, buddy. Holy cow.
It's really good.
Talk to you later.
See ya.
Goodbye.
That's Russ Mitchell. This is AFR. Outer Locks next.
AFR.
If you're thinking of selling your home, call Darren James. Get your home sold. Think about this, all right? Tomorrow's October the 1st. I mean, you got a calendar, you know that. But tomorrow's October the 1st, which means you're a little less than 3 months away from Christmas. Do you want to be in your new home for the holidays? It starts right now. Call Darren James. Get your home sold. 335-7666, 335-7666. So what we see every year in this market is November is the biggest home selling month of the year. Most people think it's in the spring. It's actually November. People want to be in their new home for the holidays and for the new year. Get a jump start on all of those people right now by calling Darren James and getting your home sold and getting to your new house before the holidays. 335-7666. 335-7666. Call Darren James. Get your home sold.
At Corval Toyota in Opelousas, you can get into a RAV4 for $3,000 off MSRP. That's right, $3,000 off MSRP. And we have plenty in stock. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right. Let's find out what Ott's betting on, so then I can know what I'm betting on, because it'll be the opposite.
Otterlocks, presented by Hot Rods Creole. The way to Creole. Shop online, hotrodscreole.com.
Well, I'm 1-0, going the Costanza route. Whatever Ott says, do the opposite. Cashed a ticket last night with the over, Otter. Feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah, that took 4 pitches to get going last night.
I was walking out of the building, and Judge Homer, and I called Brain. I said, Judge Homer hit a 2-hour.
LeMahieu single, Judge Homer. And there you go.
Hey, real quick.
Yes,
Wait, before you tell me about tonight's game, real quick. I want to get you some Hot Rods Creole, because I know you, legit, you cook and all that stuff. So I need to get you some of the stuff. Are you going to be cooking this weekend?
No. Actually, I will Saturday. Yeah,
all right.
Friday and Saturday. Yeah.
All right.
Before I go to Natchez.
I'm going to get you some stuff, because I want your opinion on if you like it. The Hot Rods Creole. Rodney Beloso, all of his stuff is awesome. They're sponsoring Otterlocks. All of their sauces and seasonings and spices and mixes, it's amazing. So I want to get you some of their stuff so you can try it this weekend and let me know your thoughts.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Bring it, baby. Bring it.
Where are you tonight?
Just winging it, man. A little open air. We got the garage door open.
Nice.
Got the 4-screen video wall behind us. How about that? 8 Major League Baseball post games today. I mean, really, it's been fun, man. It's been a lot of fun today. And same old with the Minnesota Twins. Matt, they've lost 18 straight playoff games.
That's crazy.
18 straight. So Houston takes care of business. Correa with a big bomb, the go-ahead blow in the latter innings. But Houston just acting like they've been there. Minnesota's just acting like it's in their head. So, Miami over the Cubs today. Trevor Bauer was unbelievable.
Yeah.
7 2/3, 12 strikeouts, no walks, and they still lost 1-0. But NBA Finals tonight. How about that? You know, in the pace and space era, the team that leads the league in dunks, the team that leads the league in block shots, the Los Angeles Lakers, old school, doing it, against all these 3-point shooters. So they are very, very good on defense. I love how they have a lot of guys that have been there before, whether it's Rondo, whether it's Howard, whether it's, LeBron, of course. I mean, they've got a lot of – and Miami kind of just happy to be here. Of course, nobody talks about that 11-1 shot we hit in Miami to win the East before the playoffs started. But anyway, this is why I picked to win the East.
Yeah, I mean, You're streaky.
I think this is a bad matchup for the Heat. So I think they'll be competitive. But what I like tonight is the under. So you go ahead with the over. 217.5 right now. 217.5. The Lakers like to slow it down just a little bit. Miami does have that club in their bag, too, to play zone. They played zone an average of 30 possessions in the Celtics series. So they do have it in there. And if the Lakers, the supporting cast sometimes can go really cold from the outside. So in the words of Hanny, how can you bet an under in the NBA? Dribble, 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 miss, miss, miss. Dribble, 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 miss, miss, miss. I'm just Hanny.
All right, so you're going under. I'm going to go over.
That's right.
And we'll see. I'll let it ride until I lose going Costanza, and then I'll be back on your side.
There you go.
All
There
right.
you go. We got to get out this funk.
Have a great show, Otter.
Hey, I the Cy Young Award winner looked last night. Smile.
Groove judge a fastball in the first. Goodbye.
Single bomb. Hello. Thanks for shopping.
See ya, Otter. Have a good show. Game Time with Jimmy Ott follows us in Baton Rouge. If you're not in Baton Rouge, on the Game Time with Jimmy Ott Facebook page. Thanks to Hot Rods Creole, hotrodscreole.com, hotrodscreole.com. Promo code AFR, get you free shipping. Rain, what did you learn?
I'm never inviting Russ Mitchell to karaoke night.
What did you learn?
Today's the last day to enter the Sazerac Tailgate contest.
Yeah!
Matt, what'd you learn?
Paul listens. It's AFR. See ya.
AFR.
Brought to you by GMFS Mortgage and GMFSmortgage.com. I was talking with Tom over at GMFS today, and he said, hey, Matt, since the start of this year, in 9 months, you ready for this? In 9 months, GMFS has funded over $3 billion in mortgages in Louisiana. 9 months. $3 billion in mortgages. Y'all, I tell you every day, they are Louisiana's largest local lender. Louisiana-based, all loan decisions are made right here in Louisiana, and basically every Louisiana homeowner trusts GMFS Mortgage because they've established themselves over the last 21 years since they opened their doors in 1999 and built the company to what it is now. Home buy, refi, construction loans. Remember those 4 letters, GMFS. GMFSmortgage.com. GMFS Mortgage. Changing lives.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years.